that's it. We're on air. I was actually messing with the buttons. I was overthinking it, but I've decided to start this stream. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the RTX 4080 live stream. Genuinely feels really good to be saying that. So thank you so much for joining us. This video is proudly sponsored by Deepcool, and we're doing a little bit of a different theme today because it's no secret that the RTX 4080, here it is a very expensive bit of kit. And it's got a lot of performance, but I think it's fair to say that the value proposition is no better really than okay. It's probably a bit out of my budget personally if I was building a gaming PC. So I think what a lot of people are going to be looking at doing is trying to cut some corners elsewhere and essentially shave some money off of your PC so you can get the best possible graphics card. And in this video, we are going to try and do that. We're going to build ourselves a system that is all about getting maximum FPS at pretty much all costs. But that doesn't mean that we're going to skimp on the other components. We've pretty much got, I would say, the best possible cheaper components that we can find. So we're making some cuts, for example, on the motherboard, we've got an Asus Prime and things like that. We've got a Ryzen 5 processor. I'm not sure how well this is going to perform. I think it's going to be borderline bottlenecking at 1440p with a 4080, but if we get time, we'll be testing that a little bit later. Loads and loads of really cool things. But thank you so much for joining us live. Carl is here as well. If I turn, I'm not finishing that sentence, if I turn your microphone on.
Is the microphone on?
Yeah, there you go. Are you here?
I'm here. I can hear myself. It's all working as planned.
Yeah. Have we got people in the stream? Has it gone out?
We're live. We've got people in the stream.
And are they saying anything? Have you got anything to report?
Right.
I'm checking in.
I'm questioning whether this is pre-recorded, so obviously we can.
Pre-recorded. Is it? Yeah, it is all pre-recorded. This. So it's a ruse. Sorry, guys. No, it's definitely not, but don't you worry, we'll get stuck into the build in just a second. Just want to make sure we give, obviously, people a little bit of time to get here. So we'll be starting 30 seconds, a minute, something like that. Who have we got in the chat, Carl?
Who have we got here? We've got a question from Owen H. How much does the RTX 4080, how much power does the RTX 4080 draw?
Actually, not as much as you might think. They've sort of changed it around with the meaning of TGP or Total board power. What's that? TBP. Total board. TGP. Total graphics board power. I don't really know. Essentially, this is sort of rated at around about 450. No, not 450 watts. That was the 4090. This is rated at around about 400-ish watts, but in practice, it's actually going to use quite a lot less than that. You're going to need a slightly lower power supply as well. You're looking at about 750 watt is the rated minimum for this. Obviously, if you're going for more power efficient components, you could get away with going for less than that as well. But I'm excited for this one. Anyone else, Carl? Have we just got the one person?
We've only got one person. No,
we've
disaster.
got
200 people at the moment.
200? Wow.
We've not even started building a computer yet.
I know, that's insane. 200. Well, thank you everyone for joining. It's going to be a pretty epic build, this, and because it's actually a full-size build, I'm excited for it to hopefully go a fair bit smoother. Again, as a reminder, if you've only just joined us, this is sponsored by Deepcool, and we've got components that are pretty much all about price to performance, really high quality components, but things that are ultimately a little bit cheaper than the competition. I've been working with Deepcool for quite a while now, and when we do get the chance to do a sponsored build, I really like doing them because, again, it's all about saving as much money as possible without cutting the corners that you shouldn't cut.
We've got a commenter.
Got a commenter?
Apparently they said,
brilliant.
I'm here to listen to Carl. The name of the commenter is Thea Fox.
Oh, that's rude. That's rude. Well, the good news is I don't have to video call you later, Thea, because you've been watching the stream. So I know it's a very one-way conversation, but that's absolutely fine with me. It's not really. I'll talk to you later. I think we should get this build started. So the case that we've got here is, well, it comes in two different variants. So I wasn't sure when I opened the box which one I was going to have. There's one that has a solid front panel like this one, and then you've got vents along the side. And personally speaking, I would prefer to go for mesh, but fortunately they do a version of this that is mesh, which is pretty cool. It's also got, it's a shame we don't have it here today, it's also got a little front display readout that you can plug into your system that can actually give you some like readouts of like temperatures and things, I think. It's pretty cool, so hopefully I'll get that one in for review and actually do a full video on that a little bit later. But this is it, oh, I got this wrong earlier, is it the CH10?
CH510.
I'm looking at the box upside down. It's the CH510. And this is an ATX chassis, and it's pretty much one of those ones that, it's all about sort of letting your hardware do the talking. It's got all the features that you need, but it doesn't have things, I guess, that you don't, that you end up paying for and not using. So we've got tempered glass on the right-hand side. Comes off very easily. Side panel on the left, here it is. You've actually got some extra ventilation down the bottom, which is quite cool. It's a bit unusual. So what we're going to do is actually mount some fans, or a fan, down the bottom here. That's going to let our graphics card breathe a little bit better, which is quite nice, because obviously if you do have a solid front panel with ventilation on both sides, then it is going to be slightly more restrictive. It could be a little bit quieter depending on what you're putting in here. As I say, there is a mesh version available as well, so you have plenty of flexibility, but otherwise you can draw some extra air down here and then feed it into the GPU, which should be pretty nice. Around the back, there is some cable management, but again, nothing particularly crazy. This is one that you're going to have to use a few cable ties for. You can fit hard drive down the bottom, power supply, and on the top, skipping all of the, oh no, I caught the mic. This is a disaster. Is that proof that it's live? Yeah, that probably sounded horrible, sorry. On the top, you've got ventilation, so you can put a radiator up here, up to a 360, I believe. We checked that earlier, didn't we? Yeah. 360. Yeah. And then you have two USB-A ports on the top, and then a headphone, microphone combo jack, which is quite cool. But yes, let us begin. We also have a little graphics card holder as well, which something like this could be very useful, especially if you're going for something very large. In terms of spacing, plenty of space for the 4090 or the 4080. It's 4080 launch day. I've just realised as well, Carl, disaster. We didn't get ourselves any water before we started. Oh, you're all right.
I'm right.
You're all right. I've got some empty glasses in here, but I'm feeling like we need to be talking water soon. I've also got some fans we're going to put inside this. CF 120 pluses. These are actually some of my favourite budget-friendly fans. Actually, I'd say they are my favourite budget-friendly fans because they look great. They're similar to some ones that obviously are more expensive, but they're much more accessible. And fans can get silly expensive if you want to kit out a standard computer with like the very best fans. You're looking at like 200, 250 quid. This is a lot more friendly. I think a box of these is around about, I'm not entirely sure. I should have double checked. The last time I checked, I swear these were around about 50-ish. Do you want to check?
Yeah, I looked earlier. They were about 53 or something when I saw on Amazon.
There you go. Good memory. £53 for a pack of 3 RGB fans that have little rings. So good options there. We got donation.
Dan O'Leary.
Oh.
Nice, easy name for me to pronounce today. So I'm happy with that one.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Dan says, just bought an X-Display MSI GeForce RTX 3080 Ti Supreme 12 gig. The full name there, thanks for that, Dan. From eBuyer, didn't even realise. Is there much risk with that? I can actually answer this one, because when I bought my RTX 2080, it was an X-Display from eBuyer, and it works fine.
You're going to have to do a little bit of talking here, because I've turned my mic off, because this is going to get loud.
Okay, so I guess I have to keep people busy. Okay, that was actually quite quick. That was no problem at all.
I forget people could see me. For some reason, when I turned the mic off, I was like, that's it. It's all over to you. It's all over to Carl. Not today. Now, this is the Prime version, and we had a little bit of a discussion, didn't we, about which board to use, because we had two different ones from ASUS. We're going for a Ryzen build today. This is the X670, not the Extreme Prime. So this has PCI Generation 5, I believe, on both the graphics card and the SSD. Is that correct? Is that correct? I want to say yes. M.2 PCI Gen 5. I will double check this. But the main difference between the extreme versions and the non-extreme versions are all about PCIe 5 support. Actually, maybe this doesn't have one. I will check. Carl can check for me because he's the research man. But this is going to be cheaper than the Extreme version. But then the other board that is actually pretty much the exact same sort of money as this is their B650 ROG Strix motherboard. So that has less bandwidth because it's a B series motherboard, but then you have slightly better features on the board itself if you want to do, well, but basically things like power delivery. You just have larger heat sinks and it's just sort of more built, I guess, more better overclocking and things. The Strix boards aren't exactly, well, they are. They're sort of, they're very good, strong, mid-range gaming boards without going into anything like crazy. Whereas this, which is a Prime board, this is very much meant for probably a Ryzen 5, Ryzen 7. You can put Ryzen 9 in it, but it's more geared towards the more affordable build. So depending on which way you want to go, whether you want a board that's built better or you want more features, it's going to depend obviously on which of those sort of two you want to go for. Personally speaking, for a gaming rig, I don't think it matters too much. I think having the extra features on something like this is going to be great if you're going for like a Ryzen 5 or Ryzen 7. But as I say, if you're going for a Ryzen 9, I'd probably go for the Strix version of the B650 if it was up to me. There we go. Do you want to head over? Do you want to go over to the other camera?
The mobile camera?
Yeah, the mobile camera. Unfortunately, we don't actually have the overhead camera yet because I bought it from a seller that seems to take ages to get it shipped. So we're sticking with the what we did last time, which was like the handheld. We'll show you how to get this installed, which should be pretty fun. But the CPU we're using today is the Ryzen 5 7600X. And both Carl and I were a little bit like, is this going to be the right option? I'm not entirely sure. Which camera is this? Camera 2. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Glorious. I know the color balance and things are going to be different. You're just going to have to deal with it. The camera didn't arrive. I'm sorry. I've invested, but my investment has not yet come to fruition. I'm sorry. But this is a 6-core processor, which for something that costs about £330 is very baffling. But that doesn't necessarily matter because, again, this is something that's all about gaming performance, and pairing it with the 4080 is pretty much as low as I would recommend going if you're looking to unlock the full potential of this. If you're playing at 4K, then I think this is actually going to be a good way of saving some money. You can spend the extra on a monitor. You're not going to really see any difference. But 1440p, you're borderline really wanting to go for the 7700X, sorry, and the 7600X. It's going to depend on the games that you want to play. This is going to be great if you play games that aren't as CPU dependent, but if you play games that are, then obviously you're going to want to look at something a little bit more high-end. And this is pretty much, we're trying to not get, face reveal 750,000 subs. We can't reveal your face just yet, but he's left the building, so it's fine. I've forgotten my trail of thought. Did you say we have donations?
We've had a $20 donation.
$20?
From Marcus Katz.
Oh, well, I love your name, Marcus. Is that Marcus with a C or a K?
M-A-R-C-U-S.
Oh, well, there we go. I mean, for that, I think you deserve $20, my friend, because you have an excellent name. What was the comment?
No comment, just £20.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
We've got another donation from Dave D. He's donated $10, I'm guessing Australian dollars.
Oh.
Long-term watcher, love your walkthroughs, keep up the good work.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for watching today. Just tune in for the whole build where we'll be doing this. We'll show you all the ins and the outs and any live problems that come up. Obviously, you will see. But yeah, 4080 build day should be exciting. I will change back to your camera now, Carl. There we go. So we can show you the new design. And people ruin this for me, right? I'll do some magic. Oh, no, that is zoomed. Sorry. Can't get the staff today, can you?
Focus, please.
There we go, yes. And people ruin this for me because I thought it looked really cool. The design is great. It's a bit more edgy and it's going to look great. But obviously that doesn't matter for a CPU. It doesn't really matter at all. But then people said to me, well, what happens when you put thermal paste on it and then you put a little bit too much? Does it go in the cracks and make your CPU dirty? And unfortunately, the answer is yes. So now this pretty cool, quirky design has turned into a little bit of sad times for me. It's not going to matter to you because you're going to buy this, put it in your rig, and that's pretty much the end of it. But for the professionals like me, I'm looking at Carl, and look, he's waving the camera at the ceiling. I'm waiting to press camera 2. There we go, we've done it. Look at that, magical. But for professionals like me, yeah, it means thermal paste everywhere. Sad, sad times. But we've just opened up our slot, and this is the bit you always need to be very careful of. I don't want to skimp over this because they've actually changed the socket on the new Ryzen motherboards now. So these pins, if you say, I don't know, knocked it with the processor, you drop it in it, or screwdriver, oh, disaster, you would completely ruin everything. There's actually a little bit of thermal paste on the back of this CPU. How's that happened? Is this good advice to say to clean it with a t-shirt? Probably not. But it's done now. Who used this before me? It was you. How did thermal paste get there? It's okay. It's removed. But we're just going to gently drop this into place. No force. Ryzen logo actually faces down now, which is good. If you're not sure which way it goes in, they have little notches in, so you can only put it one way, and again requires no force. You just, oh, there we go. That was quite a good ping today. You just lower this down. That top piece comes off. And then there you have your completed motherboard combo. Doesn't that look lovely? Huh? We're going for a little bit of like a silvery theme here today, which is cool. Very, very cool indeed. Liking the camera setup still, by the way. We took your feedback on board, by the way, when it comes to sort of like a little bit of static, and we've tried our best to get rid of it. And I know it's better than it was. It's not entirely gone. But it's essentially just down to the wireless mics that we use. Normally we actually record onto like a SD card and then sync it all in post because it's a lot cleaner. Whereas for live, you can't do that. Either you have a very long cable that can get caught, or you go for wireless and then you get this, which is a little bit of a compromise. But I'll leave you with a comment section. I've got big eyes.
More donations.
More donos.
Marcus is back.
Marcus is back, it's true.
Another £5. He wanted to say thanks for all the info. I just chose a rig based on your videos.
Oh.
I first made a computer in high school. It was a Sinclair ZX81.
Wow. That's going back a bit. Yeah. Awesome stuff. I mean, when I went to university, it was really cool. Nerdy, but very cool. We actually had like a hall of fame of computers that sort of went down the School of Computing because I did computer science. And that was really cool. You get to like nerd out and see all the different things. They were basically just all donations actually from all the lecturers and things that they acquired over the years. Very, very cool. One of my lecturers actually was, as I believe anyway, was quite heavily involved with the creation, or at least creation of some of the standards of the internet, which was pretty cool. Shout out to Dr. Rich Boakes. He was a good lad. Good lad. That's not how most people describe their lecturers. In terms of memory, by the way, I should say we're using some Kingston HyperX Beast. Or is this Fury? Oh, it's Fury Beast. That's what I always get the two confused. They don't?
They sold it to HP.
Oh, so this is just some Kingston Fury then?
Yeah, they sold the HyperX brand.
Oh, and this is DDR5, and along with the rest of the theme of this build, we're trying to save as much money as possible so you can essentially afford the 4080 in the first place. That's the whole theme that we're doing here today. So this is actually a slower kit of memory. This might actually be running at 4800 megahertz, which I don't think is going to be a problem because that's still faster than DDR4, but it is something, again, we can test hopefully either a little bit later or in a future video or something anyway, when we look at DDR5 speeds versus DDR4. But we're putting this in there today because it's a lot cheaper. We looked at an alternative kit, didn't we, from G-Skill, and that had RGB. It would have perfectly matched this. But didn't you say that was about, well, how much?
Double the price. I think that was like 140, and the RGB G-Skill was like 280.
Yeah. So if you want to save some money, clearly going for the non-RGB stuff is going to save you a whole bunch of money, especially if you go for one that has a slower speed as well. And I don't think it makes too much difference. Depends how often you want to look at your PC. I know, right, how many people we got watching this right now?
471.
471 people. We're about to get very real. And I say confess, it's fine. We're all friends here. We're all nerds, let's be honest. But when I built my first gaming PC, what I would always do, like most nights, even though it looks terrible, I had a window, it was on the floor as well, because there was no room on my desk. I would always just every day sort of just like kneel down on the floor, head down, and just stare at it. Just stare at it a couple of times a day and just be like, yep, that's my computer. And this was in the days of before RGB, so it was cool. You must have done that, surely. You've been very proud of your PC. You just stare at it. It's great.
I remember my first PC. I had a really out there case. I remember it was called an X Clio A380. X Clio. I don't know what that brand doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I was about to say, like, probably shouldn't mention other case brands in a in a Deep Cool sponsored video. But if they're not around anymore, it's fine.
They cease to exist.
There we go. So
it looked great at the time, but in hindsight, it looked a little bit terrible.
yeah, I mean,
Now it was ugly.
There was definitely a theme going on. I had some quirky little cases, and don't forget, we also needed to go for like hard drive cages and obviously optical bays and things. So case design has come on quite a long way, but there's been some classics over the years. The SSD we're using here is a 980. Now this again is a very cost-cutting method. It's a very good SSD. I mean, in terms of, is this going to go in? Hooray, we did it. In terms of cost-cutting measures, this is a good one because it's Gen 3 speed. I think this drive, which is a 500 gig, which I'd probably recommend going for a terabyte, but hey, you're saving money, go for a terabyte. It is only Gen 3 speed, but it's not really going to make any difference in terms of frame rate or anything. And in terms of load speeds, maybe looking at like a second. Last time I tested that, we didn't really see any difference at all. And I'm thinking, this supports Gen 5 SSDs, so just use this for now, and then if it starts to matter in like a year or two, just buy a Gen 5 SSD when they're out and hopefully cheaper, or at least Gen 4 SSDs will be cheaper because Gen 4's out, Gen 5's out. So kind of makes sense actually to save a bit of money on the SSD as long as you are saving money. And especially with Black Friday actually. I'm considering making a video on this. Would people want to see a video about Black Friday deals and things?
We've got 2 more donations.
2 more donos?
2 more donations. James Carrillo. He did get a 4080 today due to box, but he did get his hands on the C790 Strix E and a i9 13900K. But now he's got that, he doesn't know what GPU to buy. He wants your help, Sir Centric.
I think you might be feeling a little bit sad that you've missed out on the 4080 today, but I genuinely think that could be a blessing in disguise, because if AMD does have more performance than the 4080, surely the price of this will drop over time. I think as well, especially on the Founders Edition, you're paying a lot of money for the physical cooler because it's so big. I think it's going to be a very interesting space, because as long as AMD can back up their claims and they've got not 4090 performance, but more performance than a 4080, I honestly think this is going to be the year of AMD, and I'm very, very excited. That's not to knock the 4080 at all. You've got things like DLSS 3.0, all of their extra features, ray tracing is going to be better, all of that good stuff. But until we actually see AMD's offerings, we can't say for sure. So don't worry, it could be a blessing in disguise. Yeah, I think that's our motherboard done. Our combination is ready. Just make sure you're using this top slot if you want Gen 5 support. Did we work out whether we have Gen 5 on the PCIe? I can have a look. I know we've got more bandwidth because it's 670 rather than B650, but let's have a look. This is going to be really boring. Shall I do a little dance just to keep everyone entertained while I'm reading something? Expansion slots, they're all Gen 4, or at least the main one is Gen 4 X16. Then the bottom 2 are Gen 4 X16, but they only support 4X mode. So that's referring to the length. So the 16X in length, but they only support Gen 4 speed.
I think they're all 4, and then
so
X650E, you get 1 Gen 5, and then X670.
See, that's where it's confusing. This is why I think AMD have just lost the plot. Because why have you got B650E?
With Gen 5.
Like, what? It doesn't need to exist. Surely, just have X670E. I sort of get that, but it's what? Just, you see? What? It's so confusing. Why have they done this? Right, shall we get this inside of our lovely case?
Whilst we do that, we've got another donation from Woe Jr.
Wow.
Centric, love your videos. What CPU should I go for if I want to game and stream at the same time? Off one rig.
Game and stream at the same time?
On one rig.
What CPU? Do you want to come around on this next camera, boy? I mean, it's not actually too intensive these days, because what a lot of people sort of don't think about, or they, oh no, the camera's off, disaster, sorry, that was me. That was me, apologies. There we go, we're back. Technical difficulties, it's live, it's all good. How are we going to do this? I'm going to move this around. Streaming is just as much these days about having a good graphics card that has an encoder, because the encoder does a lot of the work for you and frees your CPU. And a lot of the professionals still use CPU encoding because it's the highest quality, and they often have like a separate streaming PC to do that. So I would say really just anything Intel i7 12th gen or newer, or Ryzen 7 5th gen or newer should be good. Would you agree with that, Carl?
Yeah, that's probably what I'd go for. Like a Ryzen 7, maybe a last gen or this gen, should be absolutely fine with like a reasonably new 30 series or 40 series graphics card. Sort of.
Well, that's in, but I've made a mistake.
You forgot the I/O shield.
Yeah, I mean, that is a bit of a bummer. On cheaper motherboards, you have to get an I/O shield. It doesn't make any difference, but it's been such a long time since I've used a motherboard that doesn't actually come with an I/O shield baked in now. It seems a little bit silly, but there we go. This is a prime motherboard, so that's why you have to add this in yourself. But it's very easy. You grab this out of the box. Oh. And then there's a big hole round at the back. And then you can just feed this in from the inside out. It can be a little bit sharp, which is a bit annoying, so do be careful. Power supply cables as well tend to be ones that can give you like tiny little micro cuts. There's a particular brand, I won't say it because again this is a Deepcool sponsored video, it's not Deepcool, that always gives me micro cuts. Their connectors, something about it, like it's not bad, but it's just like why? I don't know if they've improved, but there's a particular brand that always does it and it's like, really? Come on. But there we go, that should line up now with all of the standoffs that are pre-applied. That's why that's not going in, because I've not lined it up like a silly person. There we go. Happy days, that's all in. Now we can grab our screws that I've already taken out from the other side of the chassis, like so. Big bag of screws. It's really weird not having the tally light on that one. So I look at it, I'm like, is it doing anything? Is it working? If you're wondering what a tally light is, by the way, it's just the light that when I push this button, the light on the camera goes there. So when I look up, I instinctively know which camera to look at. Did we miss out one of the comments earlier, one of the donations? When we said we have 2 donations, I'm not sure if we missed one.
No, we did that one. That was Will Jr., who asked about the streaming, and the previous one before that was the other Marcus.
Okay, perfect. How are people feeling, by the way, about 4080? Because yesterday I published a video, a lot of people published a video, and we all noticed that actually the videos didn't do very well at all. I think Linus's didn't do very well. I know Geekawatts didn't do very well. eTechnics didn't do very well. And I'm thinking this is 4080 launch day. Surely people are interested. So are you? You know, are you watching this video because it's 4080 or are you watching this because it's me? I went to smile then, I got dry lips and they cracked. You know when you do that and you go, oh, and you've opened it up, sad times.
Everybody is just saying, too expensive. It's the price of the 4080. Over 2,000 euros in Europe.
Yeah, I know, I've spoken to the NVIDIA rep, you know, when they asked what my opinion is, and I was like, well, I don't really know what you expect. I think you're just taking the Michaels with the price. And I understand the official response is pretty much that the naming structure of the 80 series, the previous Gen 80 series isn't necessarily comparable to this. You know, just because the numbers are the same, it doesn't mean that they're the same product. I mean, that's all, personally, I think that's all artificial. I don't buy that myself. I think they're asking for way too much money. Okay, way too much money is extreme. In isolation, you know, you're paying for performance, you're getting it, the value hasn't changed. If you need the performance, you can go for it, it's fine. But it doesn't represent better value than what we've seen before. And obviously it's a higher price. But then obviously when you start comparing it to previous 80 series launches, it's so much more expensive. And you can say, you know, the cost of everything has gone up, which is fair enough. There's loads of different reasons. I did do a full video about why these new cards are so expensive. But the fact of the matter is, I think they've gone too far. I think they asked for $999, they could have got away with it, but we'll see. I know the initial wave has sold out, or at least I'm hearing that they've sold a lot, but whether they will going forward, especially once AMD launches, remains to be seen. So here we go. We have our full chassis ready to go now. We've got motherboard inside. It's looking pretty good, actually. I quite like the color scheme that we're going for. I am going to remove this fan, though, and I'm going to put this down the bottom, and I'm going to swap it out for the RGB fans that we showed off earlier. Oh, how are we doing in terms of comments and things?
Somebody just raised a good point. Savio Gansal. People really don't help me out here. I'm just going to call him Savio. I won't say his second name because I can't.
Okay.
He says, I wonder what will happen when they bring out the RTX 4050. What sort of price will that be?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the 3050 went up a lot in price. I mean,
That was about 400 quid.
yeah, I know. But people just didn't necessarily have the options, though, did they? Whereas now they do. So, yeah. This is something that is quite cool about this case. And again, if you're only just joining us, remember there is a mesh version of this available, and that one also has a screen on the front. So if you're someone that likes a pretty like cool, plainish, is that the right way of saying it? Plain? What's the word I'm looking for? Minimalistic. That's the PR word. If you like the minimalistic look, then obviously they've got this option. But if you want to go for a mesh, then there's mesh option. And personally speaking, I would probably go for the mesh version, but I understand that people do want something that's a bit more minimal and lets the rig do the talking. But something that's quite good about this is that you get extra airflow down the bottom. Again, if you missed the start of this, there are actually some vents down the bottom here. So you do get a little bit of airflow coming in down the bottom that can then be distributed up top and go to the graphics card. Is this screwdriver going to fit in? Yes, just about. So we're relocating the stock fan and we're going to put it down the bottom.
We've got a question from Eternal O2.
Question time. No, that's something else, isn't it?
That's another completely different question.
Did you watch the question time when Sebastian Vettel was on it? It was so random. It's like the only time I've ever watched question time. No. And Sebastian Vettel was on there talking about environmental issues and things. And someone asked him basically, why are you here? What do you know? And he was like, yeah, no, that's a fair point. But don't we all need to be thinking about the world and our environmental footprint?
Especially Formula 1 drivers.
Yeah, exactly. He did very well. That was basically the question. It's like, but you're just you're your Formula 1 driver driving around pissing fuel away. What can you say? And it's like, but that's the point. It's like, whoa, mind blown. Yes, sorry, I interrupted you. Proceed.
I've lost his question. Oh yeah, he says, I'm considering getting a 3080 and an i7 12700 KF. Would a 750 watt power supply be enough? If not, would you suggest higher?
Can you repeat that? Sorry, I was thinking about fans.
i7 12700 KF and RTX 3080. 750 watt power supply or bigger?
It depends what you're going to go to. I mean, the difference between a 750 and an 850 is not actually usually that huge. It's normally you've got sort of a big jump between 550, 650, 850, 1000. So if you can go for 850, I would. It depends on the difference in price, really. So that's the fan anyway that we've got on there. We're then going to move on. Where have I put them? Sad times.
Oh no, we've just got 3 donations in like 1 minute.
What do you mean, oh no? You ungrateful son of a gun.
I'm trying to keep up with them.
Oh, why do we get so many donations? Oh, this is terrible.
JP says he's more excited about DisplayPort 2.0 support with new RDNA 3 GPUs with the HyperX boosting feature. I don't know what the HyperRX boosting feature is, but I don't remember hearing about that.
No. DisplayPort 2 is going to be an interesting one. Can you do us a little poll on whether people think DisplayPort and 2.1, DisplayPort 2, actually makes...
Do you care about...
Yeah, because here's the thing, and this is something obviously NVIDIA will raise, but sort of fair enough. With display stream compression, then you can actually get 240 FPS at 4K over DP 1.4. So does it actually matter? Is it a feature? And I would argue probably not to like 90% of people. It's going to limit you on certain monitors, but probably not most. But then you can't get around the fact that the cheaper graphics cards are the ones that have the feature. So I think it is pretty unacceptable that the most powerful graphics card is the one that doesn't actually support the DisplayPort 2. It's pretty baffling, to be honest. But yeah, but we'd love to hear what you guys think, whether it's actually a big feature or not. Does it matter? It basically only matters if you're going to buy like a really expensive, a high-resolution monitor. But if you're looking at a 4080 as well, what sort of resolution are you looking at going for, I suppose? Because if you're going to be playing at 1440p, obviously it doesn't matter at all, does it, that it doesn't have the new DisplayPort, because you're not getting anywhere near that amount of bandwidth.
It doesn't really hit, the 4080 doesn't really quite hit 4K 120. and then
no.
40p, 300 hertz it's limited to.
Yeah, and obviously a lot of the frame rate boosting techs as well for 4090 to get over the 240 FPS require DLSS 3 anyway.
Yeah.
So it sort of negates the extra smoothness because you're increasing the latency. So it's not actually, it's a bit of a weird conundrum, isn't it? Because it's smoother and less smooth at the same time.
It's a weird one.
It is a weird one.
It doesn't, probably wouldn't bother me.
No, I wouldn't let it factor your decision unless I wouldn't let it factor your decision unless there was a particular monitor that you had in mind or a particular resolution and refresh rate and you know you're going to need it. That's when it matters. But don't forget as well, the other thing is that these cards are meant to last a very long time. So if you're already struggling now in terms of bandwidth, it's going to obviously get worse over time when more and more monitors come out. But then the counter argument to that is, well, you won't have the horsepower because your card will be out of date anyway.
We've got another donation from Cosmo Kyle.
Oh, this is so kind. Thank you. Like, genuinely, I don't ever expect a single donation. It's a bit of a weird one for me. I know, like, obviously it's streamers. I guess it's pop. Yeah, but I bet it's crazy. Thank you. No, genuinely, thank you so much.
Cosmo Kyle donated €5 and he asked, or he says, should I say, the RX 7900 XTX, that's a long name now, is €200 cheaper than a 4080, and potentially, I guess, probably based on Linus's video and what they say, it looks like it's just a little bit worse than a 4090, and it's €600 less than a 4090. So,
just don't. It's not long to wait, is it, until the launch? So just don't worry about it until it's out. As we've already discussed, cards are pretty much selling out now. So ones that you might get will be scalped and sold at higher prices. So it will be even less greater value. Just wait. If you can, please just wait and wait for the benchmarks. Wait till you can actually see what the performance difference is going to be. And it could well be a blessing in disguise, because if NVIDIA aren't able to sell all of the cards, they will have to drop the prices. I wouldn't expect this to happen very quickly though, because they've got such huge stocks of like 30 series. And the thing is, they're trying to do like the iPhone model. It's quite obvious, isn't it? Where they then drop the price of the previous generation and say, look, these cards are still great and we still sell them and they're now even cheaper and more affordable than ever, rather than the old way of doing it, which is to discontinue one line, move on to the next. I don't know. What do you think? It's a clever move? I mean, did you look at it like that? Do you?
I think so. When the 4080 and 4090 were announced, they had in the slideshows RTX 3060 priced from whatever price it even is now. In the latest announcement, it just seems that's never been done before. You've never seen them announce, oh look, the 10 series is out, but the 960 is still great value. It was just unheard of.
Yeah, but do you think they've done that because they planned to do that, or because they just had so much leftover stock?
Probably a bit of both. They've probably got a lot of leftover stock and they're trying to make up. Obviously, they're marketing geniuses. They're just trying to make the most out of it.
Don't forget as well that Jensen did say in his financial call that they do, all public companies, they have to disclose certain information to investors, and this is a public call because they're a public limited company. And he said in this call that, I think it was in one of these investor calls anyway, I know he's definitely said it, that they expect to sell most of the cards, most of the volume, I think it was most of the volume next year, which I suppose is quite obvious because it's going to be the lower end cards. But then the question is, how are they going to sell that volume if they're increasing the prices so much? What's that going to mean for 60, 70 Ti? Because don't forget that the 4080 12 gig is now the 4070 Ti.
I think the other issue is going to be VRAM now. Obviously, if the 4070 Ti is going to start with 12, a lot of people are already saying that 8 gig isn't enough anymore.
It isn't, right? I mean, what tends to happen is games, they evolve with the times, and then you find that suddenly you fire up a game, ray tracing, the high-res texture pack, and then you're looking at, like you say, like 10 gig requirement, which is kind of crazy. and it's just a bit of a bummer when you have a high-end card and then you have to turn the textures down. I think the only real game, or two games that come to mind that do this are Watch Dogs Legion and Far Cry 6, both of which do have a separate high-res texture pack. And people are going to download this and put it on even if they're playing at 1080p, but this very much is for like 4K only, because you're not going to actually really see the detail in those textures necessarily if you're playing at a lower res, unless you're going really up close to everything. I don't know. That's another good question. Maybe we should do a poll. Speaking of polls, how did we do on the DisplayPort poll, Carl?
So in 311 votes, or 317 votes now, we are completely locked at 50-50.
Again, this happened last time when we were choosing our CPU, and it was difficult because I wanted to make an executive decision, but I couldn't because I think the winning vote was like 50, wasn't it like 50.2 to 49 or something?
Yeah, it showed like 50 and 49%. There was a missing percent somewhere it wasn't given us.
It was a bit odd, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay, well these fans are in now, which is good. I've gone for plenty of airflow. Mounted them maybe slightly low, but we're going to leave it like that. It's okay. If you had the mesh version, I would go for 3 fans here because it will look better, but here it's not going to make too much difference. Put our fan filter back on. Or actually, oh, yes, no, maybe. Can they? Sorry, I'm thinking now, which is very dangerous for me. Don't do that. You could have the cables potentially going the other way, round the back, but then is the front round there like this? What do you think? How would you do the cable management?
I think on the front, because you won't see it.
You won't, that's the point, isn't it? You won't. But then you do have to put that on. Yeah.
You won't see it.
You won't see it, no. The one down the bottom is fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll put this on. Is this going quicker than the previous one? I'm not sure. It's putting extra fans in has cost us time. I forgot. Hold on, stop everything. Stop everything. I forgot to show you the best feature about this case, right? Look at the side of it. What's this? Carl's pointing over here. What have I got? What have I got? It's a pair of headphones. Oh, look at that, look. I mean, that is quite smart. That is quite smart thinking, because it's actually in a nice place. A lot of them have it around the back or on the front where you don't necessarily want it, but this is on the side. You're going to sit here, it's going to go there. Genius. I mean, I say that's a joke. It's obviously not a joke. It is a very, very cool little feature, but I wouldn't buy a case because it's got headphones down there. But it's quite robust. Can we hang the no, we're not doing the panic. The panic. That would be the most stupid thing I've ever done on the channel, and I've done a lot of stupid things on the channel. Right, where we are now, we've got all of our fans in, so we're going to have to start plugging in all of our I/O now, which is the fiddly bit around the back. We've got fans. We've got 3-pin. Do you want to go camera 2 so we can get nice and close? Is that okay? And then we can put the power supply and things in. Oh, but just so we can buy ourselves some time. And time is a very precious resource. I haven't popped it in properly. Right, camera 2. There we go. Magical. There we go. So we have all of these little cables here, look. You see? And it's quite nice that I've got you here because you can actually see them. So this is a 3-pin, but you can also get a 4-pin, which are PWM fans that have like slightly greater control. These tend to switch off at lower voltages rather than sort of running at lower speeds. They have usually a higher minimum speed, but shouldn't really make too much difference. Then you've got your power and reset switch down here. You can see those, yeah. What's this? This is our USB 3. These always look intimidating, but I promise you they're not. They can only really go in one place. It's the power switch and power reset LEDs people tend to get wrong. HD audio for your front panel audios. You can plug headsets and things in. HD LEDs. And then as for our fans, we've got this little deep cool connection. And then this 4-pin PWM fan, I believe. I believe they're PWM anyway, but they're definitely 4-pin. So we've got 3 of those, and there's a little hub that we all connect in just a second. That's the camera we've gone to now. Don't put it down. I'll need you again. Sorry. I'm trying to map everything out, aren't I? I'm trying to map everything out. So there we go. We've swapped to this camera. So now we're going to plug in those connections, and they go down here at the bottom. This is usually where in post we'd crop in, but I've got a car with me today. There he is. Well, you'll never know. Other than reflections, I actually am looking forward to the day someone does send some reflections in. That will be quite funny. But we've got a fan here. So we're going to plug this into our fan connection that we've got down at the bottom, just like that. Can you see okay? Is that good enough? There you go, look, that little tiny one. This is when we need a new lens. I mean, you can do that if you want to, that lens behind you, it's got this, the 50mm. Do you want to try that? I'll change back to this camera. You'll have to do some magic. It should be, is it there, behind it? The 50mm. Has the Sony adapter on it, so you need the Sony adapter. But that should be on it. The 50, that's not the 50. The Prime, gold, there it is. Hooray, people can't see. This is like panicking. This is prime entertainment. Do you like the lighting, by the way, today? I've gone for a bit more of like a cooler theme rather than just like standard lights. I think it looks good. Also, you haven't seen it yet, but the poster design is, well, I say it's not out, but it's been sent to me. Poster design for my own PC-centric posters. Unbelievable. You just wait. You're going to literally love them. The merch is dropping very soon. I'm very excited. We're now going to move on to plugging in our USB 3, which can go up here at the top. There we go. Click. Very satisfying. No? You might have to go manual focus on that one. So, yeah, it is on manual focus. That's why.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got an ND filter on that as well. Like this is, oh, we've gone to black. This is a disaster. Like, hold on, wait, move slightly forward. So, look, there we go. There we go, look, oh, magical. There we go. We in?
We're in.
You reckon?
It's a lot brighter now.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot brighter, and the focus is going to be very thin on that one. Yeah, there we go. Oh, there we go. So you can just get down the bottom. It's going to be shaky. You're going to have to bear with us for a second, but just so we can do these fiddly ones, and you can actually see. This is where we're talking down here. See these little connections? If you look in your motherboard manual, it will actually show you these ones. And it gives you the pin readout, which I'd always recommend doing because it took me ages to remember, so chances are you won't. But the way I remember is that the power is always at the top, and then the LEDs are always on the left, which means that our power switch must be top, and because it's not on the left, it's on the right. So there's our power switch plugged in. Is that coming through all right, or does that look a bit naff? Yeah. Well, I'll go for air because we don't always get. Hold on, magical. Yeah, we go for air because often we get I can't see at all. So air is better. When we have the overhead, that will work better. We've got the reset switch and the HD LEDs now. We'll plug these in. Happy days. Can you get me some lovely comments, please? All the mean ones. I'm a big boy. I can take it.
A nice comment. Let's find one there.
Amongst all of all the horrible scummy ones.
Oh, somebody's just said they're downloading Warzone 2.
Oh yeah, Warzone 2 is that today? Yeah.
Available now, isn't it? After 6
what are you doing? People might have forgotten and now they're left. They're gone. They're like, oh my god. Or maybe they should be downloading Warzone 2 whilst watching the stream. Maybe that's a better use of time.
Yeah, it's probably better. Oh, no, I left mine downloaded and put my PC off.
I was gonna give it. Oh, I've plugged the wrong. Bummer. See, I thought it'd be a good idea to plug this fan in first, but actually I should have plugged the LEDs in because it makes it slightly more tricky to get to. Still fine, but just a little bit more annoying.
John Willard says, I hate radiators.
I hate radiators. So I feel like that's a little bit too niche for a t-shirt, but...
And Andy Martinez says, I hate radiators.
I hate radiators.
Everyone's saying, I hate radiators.
Maybe you should answer the question, Carl. What is it actually like to edit my videos? You can be totally honest. Eventful.
Eventful? There's a video where Marcus had a breakdown today.
Yeah.
We're not going to show that one.
No.
That's not going to make it to YouTube.
I was running out of time on the SSD and I finished with 23 seconds and I started stressing that I wasn't going to make it. which is pretty annoying. But I did, just about.
He took his jumper off because it got hot, and then he put it back on for continuity.
Genuinely, the jumper, I think, was actually the problem. I think I just overheated. I think I was like a CPU. My TJ Maxx was clearly 22 degrees, and I hit 23 on the room temp, so it was just too much for me. That is the nerdiest joke I've ever told in my life, genuinely, and that excites me. Okay, so now we need to do the fan hub. We plugged everything else in. Trust me, boy, this build is going to go very quickly once we get to the prime position.
Thea Fox has left a comment saying, please send me that footage now.
No, you know, it's sad. Thea, you don't want to watch that. It's sad times. It's not like nice footage. It's just a bit sad, really. No one wants to see that. No one wants to see that. Oh, with these fans, you get a little fan hub as well, which is quite nice. I like that. As well as the RGB. So you've got fan speed and RGB. Again, this is very budget-friendly set of fans, which I like. And they're good. They're quiet as well. A lot of cheaper fans can be a bit loud, but this is not the case here. What am I looking for? I'm looking for this one. This is the one. Thea Fox. She gets loads of people following her on Instagram, but her account's private, so I don't know. Yeah, but so then she's also got like this skating one. Like it's very odd because she hasn't uploaded it for ages. But apparently people, there's a link to that from her actual Instagram. So the public-facing skating one gets loads of followers now, and I'm sure they're very interested in Thea skating like 3 years ago. But there we go. I don't know. It's hot content, isn't it? Hot stuff. But it's lovely that she's tuning in for the stream. She said to me before that it's just like I'm there. And I'm not sure, you know, like I'm there with her. I'm not sure if that's good or not. Because is this how I talk normally?
Yeah, generally, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, hi, how are you? Yeah, not too bad. It's raining, isn't it? Yeah, it's raining. Tell you what, though, my TJ Maxx was a bit insane today. It was a bit much. Do I ever say that? I don't know. Am I? How nerdy am I in real life?
On a scale?
Yeah. Let's go, what's the scale? The scale is.
Do a poll?
Kylie Jenner's a 0.
Yeah.
Linus, Bill Gates, 10.
Yeah, I guess so.
Let's go with Bill Gates as a 10.
Yeah. I'd say you're.
Yeah.
Answer correctly.
No, it's okay.
A 6.
I'm happy with a 6. I actually wanted a 7, so.
Alright. I'm honest, it'd probably be an 8, but.
If you're honest, I don't like honesty. Honesty is overrated.
This is 11.
Clearly, she's a fan of Spinal Tap. It is Spinal Tap, isn't it? 10 up to 11.
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know. That means you're nerdier than I am. Official. There we go. I wouldn't normally use this, but just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to use the RGB controller that comes with the Deep Cool set, so we can sort of cycle through a few different buttons. And it looks as if, as well, you can actually plug the I didn't know it did this. You can plug the reset switch into the bottom, and then your case can control the RGB. Because you plug the reset into this.
You've got to unplug it now.
Why?
Have you not plugged it?
Oh yeah, the reset. Yeah, that's amazing. Why are you not more impressed? It's because you're only a 6.
If I was an 11, maybe.
Yeah, you would love to be 11 like me, but that's not going to happen. This genuinely, okay, I am a nerd. This genuinely excites me. Look, you can plug this reset switch in there. Oh my word, that's game changing. You will need a SATA connection, but that's a game changer. Right, then we've got these fans, so we can plug these either directly into the motherboard or into a fan controller. Oh, will they fit? Yeah. AIO pump. Yeah. Yeah. Shall I use I'll just use the hub. Be easy, won't it? It's going to get a bit messy, sorry, but it's live, so I don't have the minerals to... Oh, I'm going to burp. Oh, sorry. Lovely. That's what the people want. Why couldn't you cut that out? I mean...
Probably could have done.
No, don't. How can you cut that out? I couldn't reach the button in time. I could not reach the button in time. You be nice to me. Right, I'm going to plug this into a fan header. Prime boards don't have as many as higher end boards. That's something to note. I don't think they're particularly expensive to add on, but this is almost like an artificial thing to make the more expensive motherboards actually worth buying for certain people. There you go, we'll plug that in. Happy days. Then we can have all of the lovely RGB fans connected on one layer. He says, oh, that's annoying. This isn't long enough. No, it's not long enough. That is quite sad times. How am I going to fix this? It's not that.
In the front.
Yeah.
There is a gap. I think you can poke it through. About halfway up in the middle.
Is that the front one? No, I think the front one is the bottom one actually. They don't give you that much length, which is something I would recommend Deepcool to swap out for the next gen. Actually make the fan cables themselves longer, because you're sort of forced to use the hub even if you don't. But it's okay. I will just plug these two into the hub and we'll plug the other one straight into the board. It's not an issue. Not an issue. Not one we can't resolve anyway. Very straightforward. What else is going on in the chat? Is Thea still floating about? She plays.
Comes in with like silent digs now and then.
No, that's not what I'm all about. She's sitting at home either knitting, crocheting, or she's playing Farming Simulator. So I pick 'em, huh? No, she's literally the best. I honestly love her so much. She's the best. Anyway, that's enough of that. This is not the time or the place for that. How are we doing in viewers and things, by the way?
556 concurrent viewers.
That's pretty good. 4080s, big news, big news.
Yeah.
Although some people say it's not big news. Apparently it's not.
There's still a bit of hate in the comments for the 4080, which I guess is kind of justified.
Yeah, I mean.
People mainly about the price.
Well, that's it. I mean, I don't think you can fault the product. It's just not the right price, is it? Really? Too much money. Too much moolah.
It's like saying a Lamborghini is a great car, but you know it's like 400 grand. So
yeah,
it's not a bad car. It's expensive.
Yeah, it's just not for everybody, is it? Well, not for many.
Asks, have you played the new Uncharted with the 4000 series GPUs yet?
No, I need to try that actually. I'm a bit out of touch. I've just got Spider-Man Miles Morales on PC though, so that's probably the next thing I'll...
Oh, is that on PC now as well?
Yeah, I think that came out today, maybe Friday. What is it today? Wednesday? I think it's either out now or 2 days ago or something. Right, anyway, sorry about the delay. That's our fans connected now. So if you're new, remember we've got this extra fan down the bottom there to give the graphics card a little bit more ventilation, and then we're going to put a radiator at the top, which is a perfect time to move on to radiators. I am going to try and avoid saying the phrase. Place your bets now. You can start a poll.
Do you want to put the power supply cables in first?
Probably.
If you're top mounted?
Yeah, that's why we have you here, isn't it? So what Carl's talking about is if you put the liquid cooler in now, I probably would have got to the bit, to be fair, where I would have done that, but hey-ho. If you put the power cables in now, or at least one power cable in up here, it just makes it easier to cable manage, because when you put the radiator in, obviously it blocks some of these off. So we'll do that, then we'll move on to the cooler. Reminder, if you're just joining us, this video is sponsored by Deepcool, and today we're using, I think, the newest product they have out. It's the LS520. This is a high-performance 240mm liquid cooler. Obviously comes in a range of sizes, but Deepcool are very, very good at cooling. They often have some very unique products, and I like the look of this, actually. I'll be excited. I mean, I am excited about coolers. I know they're not quite as exciting, but especially with a Ryzen 5, I think a 240 AIO is a good option this gen, because they can get quite hot. But you've got loads of lovely RGB on this as well, and I believe they've sort of revamped the pump and fans and things, so this should be should have high performance and lower noise, not only in terms of actually fan noise, but also in terms of vibrations and things as well. But I did say I was going to move on to the power supply. We were a little bit confused by this one because this has been on the shelf, and I think they've actually rebranded this. I believe the name is the same, so the product I think is the same. It's just the Deepcool had a rebrand, so that's their old branding on this one. But this is the DQ850M-V2L. which is very memorable, I think it's fair to say. But 850, this is fully modular, gold rated, and as with most Deepcool products, they tend to slightly undercut the competition as well. So the whole rig we're doing is all about price to performance. We're trying to cut corners really that can be cut and just save a little bit of money. That's why we're using a Prime motherboard, for instance, and our RAM isn't RGB. But if you're getting extra gaming FPS, the thing that you're actually seeing on screen or feeling with your mouse and keyboard is going to be better, isn't it? Rather than something that maybe looks slightly better or has a slightly higher spec sheet. Oh, how are we doing, Carl?
Yeah, we're doing good.
Can you pour me a bit of your water into a glass, please? Are you genuinely considering not? That was like a, no, it's my water. It's mine!
I'm trying to find if the glass had stuff in it already.
I don't know. I mean, it's only water in here. If you put it in a hot chocolate glass, that could get a bit funky. Or the tea glass. I have drunk tea the day after before. There's a little bit of tea left.
The milk goes to the top and it looks a bit weird.
I don't know. I had soy milk, so I don't know. But I was that desperate. I was in mid-video and I was like, I need it. Oh! And it actually wasn't too bad.
David Grant wants you to say bottle of water.
Bottle of water. Bottle of water?
Bottle of water.
Mm. Oh. Have you poisoned that water? It tastes a bit funky.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. It's fine.
Nestle.
Branding. This has, please use the modular cables provided in the package. Do not use any other cables, because don't forget, different pin layouts on different cables. If you don't have one that are made by Deepcool or are specifically designed with their power supplies in mind, then obviously you could run the risk of short-circuiting or damaging your components, which would be bad. How have I managed to get the power supply bit that I don't need yet out and then discarded the box? That's very silly. We wanted a CPU cable, didn't we? We were trying to be smart. We got our bag of cables here, look. There we go. We want to make sure we do plug in both of the connections. We are going to need the full power to the CPUs. If you're using like a 65-watt CPU, it doesn't matter, but with something like, even the Ryzen 5, I think you want both plugged in. That's PCIe, ATX, CPU, and there should be another one somewhere as well. SATA, is that it? Yeah, CPU, there you go. There you go. And that one will split. Yeah, perfect. Okay. And something really subtle that I've already decided I really like about this power supply is the mechanism at which these two 4 pins, these two 4 pins come together to make an 8. Because I can't stress enough how annoying it is trying to plug an 8-pin cable that are 2 4s, because when you're sort of stretching it and you push it in, they always get slightly misaligned. So you're trying to plug this in, picture this, and it needs to be completely flat, and it ends up sort of going in like that, and you can't push it in. This sounds like I'm making it up. I promise this is the bane of my PC building existence after radiators. It's the next most annoying thing. Whereas Deepcool have actually got this little like connection, so they go together and they stay. So when you push it in, no hassle. Why doesn't everyone do this, Carl? You're the expert. You actually studied power supplies at Oxford, didn't you?
Yeah, for 8 years. Studied power supplies, and I learnt many things. It's no good reason for it, to be honest.
No.
People don't like you, and they like to see you suffer.
I mean, is it true that you actually made this power? No, you made the 16-pin, didn't you? You were involved in that.
It's my fault. No, not my fault. I mean, it's my idea.
Yeah.
My fault.
What do I actually want, though? Do both of them come together? Oh, no. So one is a full 8, which is good, because that will go in nice and easy. I think that is, anyway, which is the one I want. Oh, no, they both do detach. It's okay. Oh, sometimes with some power supplies, you get one cable that's an 8, and then one that's a 2x4, but both of these do both, which is good. Have we exhausted my power supply jokes yet?
Yeah, I think so. Not many of them.
Yeah, I mean, if I was doing like an intro to a power supply video, I would be like, what's up, guys? 850 today, which is a good amount for an RTX 4080. 750 is the minimum, but bear in mind 850 is not actually that much more expensive. That's what I'd go for. You see how easy that was? do it before you put the radiator in. Buy cables that actually sort of split in half because it makes your life much easier. There you go. Top tips with PC Centric. Carl.
Yeah.
No, that's just the over to you voice.
Okay.
Yeah. Carl. And back to the studio.
And back to you, Steve. Been loving these live stream builds lately. Thank you, Nokia.
Did we work out whether the noise was any better, by the way, the background noise? I know it's still there, but is it quieter / acceptable?
There's nobody complaining this time.
Good.
Just, you know.
We did the official test, didn't we? And we called it the, quote, piss test.
Yeah, that's to make sure that there's no sort of
Noisy background noise, aka hiss, but spelt with a P.
Yeah. Someone wants to know, do you wear an anti-static wrist wrap?
No.
Yeah.
And next, like, it's one of those things that, if I'm totally honest, it all comes down to, if I'm recommending things to people, then obviously you don't want to run the risk that someone doesn't use an anti-static wrist rest, and then they find that they do have an issue with static. But I don't think I've ever damaged anything with static, and I've built a lot of computers, so, you know, if you're worried about it, use one. You know, I'm not taking liability if you copy me and it goes wrong, but I don't see any reason why, well, I do see a reason why it would, but I don't see a realistic use case where it would go wrong. You'd have to be basically very unlucky. I'm on carpet and socks at the moment, so, you know, I'm not exactly taking precautions. The components are just built so much better these days that they're built to tolerate it, I guess. Okay, so that's the power. Should we just do all the power supply? That would be easier, wouldn't it? Okay, so that can come in now. Then all of these cables, we need to spin round, spin round, spin round. You spin me right round. Haha. I really wish, right, you could actually sing songs, because I would do it all the time. Not because I'm good, but just because I do it around the house. Who doesn't sing?
Everybody loves singing in the shower.
I actually don't.
Not in the shower.
No, Thea's brilliant. She actually has a very musical voice and does sing in the shower. It caught me so off guard, like, first night she stayed. She, next day, it's like Wicked with blaring out of the bathroom. Eh? What's that? It's like she's taken like a portable radio in there or something. It was quite something. Clearly, very confident girl. We like that. But no, I don't. But I'd sing everywhere else. What do you sing in the shower, Carl?
I don't really have any particular shower songs that I go to.
What was the most recent?
It's usually what gets stuck in your head.
Okay.
The most recent song, which is a really old song, which my dad always plays, it's called Dirty Old Town by the Pogues.
The Pogues?
The Pogues.
Ah. I only know them off of that Christmas one.
Yeah, but they were quite big back then, apparently.
What, large?
Like, not physically, popularity-wise.
Hmm.
But yeah.
Bit before my time.
Literally, the song that just gets stuck in my head is Dirty Old Town,
Okay.
Dirty Old Town. And that, like,
Right.
Irish accent they have.
Okay.
And just that bit over and over again.
Yeah, that sounds quite amusing, actually. I must be honest. Is that like the same sort of era as Bucks Fizz? I hear Bucks Fizz, they get wheeled out every now and then, but I don't know anything about them.
Just what you drink at Christmas time.
It's a popular drink at Christmas time, but that's not what I'm specifically talking about here.
Oh, I didn't realise there was a band called Bucks Fizz as well.
What's going on here? VGA. Oh, I've got it in my head now. Don't know why, but I do. Okay. Right, so we're plugging in all of our PCIe connections. So we've got a total of 3 8-pins that are going to merge a little bit later into the adapter. We've then got the motherboard cables. So we've got the ATX and the CPU that we've already plugged in. And then we'll plug the SATA in. Carl.
Over to Carl.
No, but that's the beauty. I don't need to say over to Carl. I just go, Carl.
Carl.
No, if I say Carl, that's different to going, Carl.
Okay. So I have to look for the facial expression as well.
No, it's the inflection. Is that the right word? Afflection? No, inflection. No, afflection. The way I say it. Use your ears.
Basically, you just want me to find find some questions for you.
Yeah, that's code for, Carl, I realise I'm being a bit boring now. Can you help me entertain people by reading out some comments? AKA, Carl.
Joshua asks, his name's just Joshua, well done on that one. Do you think that PC prices have increased over the last couple of years?
Definitely, yeah.
What would you say is the reason for that?
If most cynical is corporate greed, but the honest answer, well, there's two answers. Basically, it's a mixture of, as we know, as was announced today on the radio, it's like 11% or just under 11% inflation year on year. So everything is getting more expensive. There's no doubt about that. Availability, things, as we know, have been quite hard to get hold of in the PC space, most notably being GPUs. So availability has meant that people have been fighting for prices. There's less stock, so the price of that stock can remain high. Where's my screwdriver? There it is. But then also just the fact that there hasn't been that much competition really between AMD and Nvidia, because both of them can sell whatever stock they have. So they've just put the prices up and they will sell it. Whereas this year, slightly different because, as we know, people are a lot more savvy to it. And I think people are less willing to give Nvidia money. So if AMD does have a genuinely better product, at least price-wise anyway, let's not get into the power efficiency and features and things. As long as they can compete and be the better option to buy, then I think people are going to go for that. And then there'll be a little price war going on. That's what we need, a little price war. But yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Who was that to? Joshua?
Joshua.
Just yeah. Joshua. Joshua.
Joshua.
One of my family friends, his name is Joshua, and his mum was always really scary when he used to go over there, you know, when you're like 10, yeah. And he'd done something bad, but like, Joshua! Oh God. So every time I hear that, I think that. It's like, God, back in Nam. Right, that's that. Need to get the cables fed through now. Carl.
Yes? Okay then. Do you think you should go for a 4080 or a 3090 Ti?
Oh, I 100% go with the 4080. I didn't like the 3090 Ti because it was so loud. The cards weren't built for the amount of power, and I found that they were just... I actually downgraded to a 3080 from a 3090 Ti because the card I was using was just too noisy and it drove me up the wall. Obviously, it depends what you're going to use it for. But yeah, 4080 is going to run way quieter. It's a lot more efficient, and it has better ray tracing and it's going to support DLSS. I think that's a no-brainer. Obviously, it depends on the money, though, right?
I think the 3090 is seeming better value.
Yeah, 3090 isn't so bad. It was the 3090 Ti that I actually... It just seems a bit unnecessary now, if I'm honest.
Yeah, especially with the prices coming down, I think the 3090 seems quite reasonable in comparison.
You're going to plug the SATA in now? I think it's a good time for getting a new graphics card. I just think it's worth waiting because you're always going to get sellouts at launch. But whether that continues for very long, I genuinely think the answer is no, but we will wait and see. We will wait and see. Can these go in the hard drive cage? We've got to put the cooler in, so I'll probably get them out again. But for now, they can sit in here. Right, CPU cooler, then the graphics card, then we're done, which is very exciting. Cool. Do I need to ask more questions? Is that the problem? Am I not asking enough? What are people having for dinner tonight? Now that is genuinely a question I do want to know the answer for. I actually don't know. This is a problem. I might have to go down McDonald's. Oh, the dog doesn't have any... I didn't buy the dog food.
At all? He's got nothing to eat?
No, he's got dry, but we're out of tins. So that means in the pouring rain, I'm going to have to go to Tesco anyway. I'm going to have to get some dog food.
And dinner.
And dinner. It's going to be a dog's dinner. If he can't eat, I can't eat. Hunger strike. No, I'm not a bad dog owner. I mean, no, I'm not. He's got food, he eats the dry food, but I like to give a mixture of wet and dry, whereas this morning he's only had dry, so I'll have to go get him some more tinnies.
Apparently Thea said she told you that before she left.
Yeah, well, she tells me a lot of things. No, she could have got more food. It's all very well passing the buck, isn't it? As, oh, there's only a tin left. Get more tins then. Like, come on. I know, it's not always someone else's problem, Thea. Come on. Get on it.
Right, do you want to listen to what everybody else is having?
I would absolutely love that.
Snake.
Snake! Snake! Yeah.
Is having salad. Nothing else, just salad.
I mean, what sort of salad? Salads can be nice, but they've got to be a bit more interesting. They've got to have some good, not like fatty dressing, but you know, they've got to have some exciting stuff going in there. One of my favourite foods is actually a salad. It's like, it's got goat's cheese on top. It's got, I think, dates or something in it. Very, very nice. Very, very nice.
Mr. S having McDonald's.
Okay. Who? Mr. S?
Mr. S. The real beluga. It's just had KFC.
So, does the one salad balance out the two fast foods?
Yeah. We've got another healthy option. Eternal O2 is making a homemade carbonara.
Oh, right. All right. Now, here we go. Carbonara. If you're putting cream in it, leave the stream. Not having that. We were having this very conversation this morning, weren't we? Because you were saying about your partner and how, was it cream cheese? She put in all cream?
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She put
Cream cheese in.
cream cheese. Not acceptable. She might be listening as well.
Potentially.
Potentially. I'm sorry, but if you are watching, you need to do it properly. You don't need the cream. You use the pasta water and it sort of reacts with the fat and then you get this lovely like glazy carbonara eggy stuff. It's great. If you're putting cream in it, I'm sorry, you're doing it wrong and you're making the Italians cry. It's true. It's true. We'll do a little test fit this radiator. Look, you can go up top. Yeah, plenty of room. You can get a 360 in this. Once again, reminder, this video is sponsored by Deepcool. I don't know how many times I have to say that because it's live. People can like come in and out anytime. Yeah. I don't know, but there we go. It's all good. I think that's the last time I'm going to mention it now, he says. But yeah, that will go there, no problem. And we're going to use it as an exhaust. So we want to make sure the fans actually go on blowing into the fan, blowing into the radiator. My brain's not working. There we go. So put it on like that, put it on like that. And if you test fit it, you know that the cables and everything are how you want it. That's then when you flip it over and you can screw them in with a success. Hopefully being 100% now because you've done a test fit.
Do you want to know what the poll is at for I Hate Radiators? 461 votes.
461% say yes.
76% say yes, 24% say no.
Well, we'll see. We have this. I don't know what this is. I could read the instruction manual.
That looks like a sticker that goes in the front of the cooler.
It does look like, oh, it's, yes. Yeah, yeah, if you don't want the, yeah. There you go, so he knows.
There was deep cool cooler before.
Yeah. Deep cool coolers are great. They're also different though. Like, how often do you see like other brands come out with a product that looks completely different to everyone else's? And most people use the Acetec pump design, whereas I believe Deep Cool have their own.
Yeah. I always wanted the Castle. I think it was like
the Castle 240. That was yeah, that was a good one. Had a little big boy, didn't it?
Yeah, I wanted that one for a while. And then I think there was like different versions of it, depending on the region. And there was like a really good one that was in America, but it wasn't in the UK. I ended up waiting for ages.
Yeah, they usually get reviewed very well as well, because I'd heard about Deep Cool before I started working with them. I remember like Kit Guru always used to rate them.
Yeah.
Right, now this must be for Intel. Well, it says Intel on the back, so I'm going to go with yes. I could read the instructions or I could wing it. What do you think I should do?
Wing it.
Yeah, there you go. Deep Cool, if you're watching this, Carl told me to wing it, so blame him. But it should be fairly self-explanatory because all you need to do is remove the default AM5 mounting hardware, and then the backplate actually sticks on now, which is worse if you have a cooler that's not compatible because you need a custom backplate. But actually, in the long run, I think it's a lot better because all it means is that you need to put these new screws in these existing standoffs, and then you can go from there. Do these look like AMD to you? I think they do. That looks quite AMD, doesn't it? That lines up. That lines up. So this must be the AMD bag.
Don't look at me, I can't see it.
Surely this screws in like that, doesn't it? Come on. Must do. Must do. There we go, look. One.
What happens when you wing it, I guess.
Yeah. Can you imagine building your own PC and winging it? I'm sure people do, but I mean, why? Like, this is going to be your baby and you want it to work. Please don't wing it. Do as I say, not do as I do. Which is kind of bad advice, really, when you're doing a video, almost walking people through a computer. I think this is just more an excuse of a chat, really. It's quite nice. It's nice to stay in touch with people and prove that I'm a real person.
Just building a PC and you guys come along for the ride.
Yeah. And you.
And me, I get to come along for the ride.
Editor Carl.
I don't have to edit, so, you know, I just have to sit here and...
Well, you do, because, I mean, you've got...
Well, not this one.
We've got a cool video coming soon. What are you working on at the moment, Carl?
Top PC cases of the year.
Top PC cases? It's a good one, actually. We're not going to spoil it. But I'm quite happy with the video, actually. Maybe I have done that wrong. Or maybe that's the top piece or something. I don't know. I don't know. Does that not line up properly? Have I done it wrong? I mean, if it doesn't go on, that suggests I've done something wrong, doesn't it? I could read the instructions. In fact, I should read the instructions. Because it could be that this is the AMD bag. But that looks quite... that's Intel. That's Intel.
More of the squarey looking one, isn't it, for AMD?
Yeah. Oh, we've got thermal paste pre-applied to this one. Look, nice big large pad. I imagine this just needs to screw on. Oh, I see. So yeah, that goes on to there, like that.
Somebody said they saw a reflection of me. I want to know if I have brown hair.
I don't know. You're going to have to do some X-Files sort of level of expanding on that, I think. I'm so confused. Why don't I just read the instructions, though? I could do that. I could read the instructions. But I don't want to. Where's the fun? Because look, that doesn't go in there, so that's not right, is it? And that does go in there.
That works.
Yeah. That doesn't go in there.
There you go.
But which way is up and which way is down?
I think
It's probably that way. Why are we winging it? Why don't I just check? We've come so far. No, I'm going to commit. No, I'm not going to commit. I'm not going to commit. Oh, it might be an online manual, actually. I'm going to wing it. I'm going to wing it. No, there's a manual. It's okay. It's okay. How many people actually read the manual? Maybe that's the next poll. How many people read the manual when building their gaming PC? This is not difficult to look at the manual either. Like, it's very clearly laid out.
I feel like the callers always read a manual.
So I've done it right so far. Yeah. So that's that side and the bits that go in on the top. Okay. Bet this is great viewing, isn't it? Mark is getting confused at how to install cooler. Is that the one? No. That's the bottom, isn't it? Like that. Right, I think we're good. I think I've worked it out. I got it. Okay. Carl.
Yeah, you're happy for me to continue?
I'm very happy. I would love nothing more.
Yeah. If you could choose between OLED, QD OLED, or QD OLED, which would you prefer?
QD OLED, I think. Yeah. But maybe that's...
No questions, no contentions?
It depends on the product, I suppose. But for context, I would like to upgrade my TV to QD OLED, but I think I'm going to do it next year. Because I want to go 77-inch, and you can't buy a QD OLED in 77 yet. Which is, yeah, I know that's a lot. But all I ever do is watch TV and make videos, so, you know, makes sense. Maybe LG, if you're watching this, you wanna send out a 77-inch QD OLED next year, and we'll mention it in a video.
Doing them yet? I think Samsung are doing it. I don't think.
Oh no, you're right. Sorry, yes. But then
They're doing OLED.
we'll see. I don't know what's going on at CES. For all we know, they might also do Quantum Dot OLED. But yeah, at the moment it's I believe it's a Samsung tech, and Sony are also using it, or is it Sony? I think it's Samsung.
I think it.
Sony and Samsung both sell TVs that are QD OLED.
Yeah.
I know that much. I think it's Samsung's panel.
Yeah.
I think. I'm sure some commenters will have told us.
Yeah.
Watch them all come in, all of the experts. Not that we have source verification, like they could say anything and we would believe them.
Yeah, I think one thing I've noticed is that Samsung are also doing their own OLEDs finally, and not just everything is QLED.
Yeah, well, it sort of matches their branding as well. I've lost a very small silver script. I found it. That's basically actually what it's like to edit a PC-centric video, isn't it? It's like, oh no, oh there it is.
Marcus does something wrong and then he manages to hide it.
Well, it's the magic of editing, isn't it? The absolute magic. Yeah. I don't know, what did you expect when you sort of came in, you know, and you applied to be Mr. Carl Editor? You know, you had to change your name. Carl's not your actual name, is it?
Just a Carl the editor.
Yeah.
Editor Carl.
Yeah, we could swap you out because no face reveal, so no one would ever know. Just have the Carl
Just the title.
voice changer as well. Cooler, by the way, I should actually get back to business for a second. Pre-applied thermal paste here, look. And we're going to put this on top, like so. Which way round does it say? It says like that. Okay, so that should go in. There we go. Nice and easy. How about that? Yes. What did you expect when you reached out?
Well, in the interview, you seemed very professional.
I didn't fart. Probably did from you at the mic.
Yeah, I suppose it was over Zoom, so you could have got away with it.
Yeah.
Over
I spent a bit of time preparing some notes and things,
Yeah,
actually.
you had some like, good, valid interviewee type questions.
Yeah.
And then when you start working for Marcus, it's
All goes downhill
it's all a
from
bit
there.
facade.
Yeah. Get here at 9:30. Actually, no, I'm not ready. Get here a bit later.
Get here for 10, I just got up.
Yeah. I've never said just got up. It's always dog needs a walk and or haven't done B-roll yet. Because it gets to like 8:15 in the evening and I'm like, I'll do the B-roll tomorrow. And then because you're coming, it forces me to actually wake up in the morning.
Oh no, I need to do that before he gets there.
Well, I have an alarm. It's just I don't always abide by the alarm. The iPhone is actually better for alarms. And I'll tell you why. It's because Google is very intelligent and it listens. So you can shout stop at your phone and it will shut up. Whereas the iOS one, to the best of my knowledge, at least by default, it doesn't do that. So you have to actually turn it off and that wakes you up.
You don't even have to say, okay.
No, you literally just go, shut up or stop.
Yeah.
And it'll do that. So this is the bit we were talking about. If you want to get rid of that silvery logo in the middle, you can swap that out for a plain old RGB one. But I think the other one looks a lot better, personally. Silver. But it's up to you. Nice that you get the option, isn't it? Ta-da! The mirror. And that is the CPU cooler in. All we need to do now is actually plug this in to the pump header. Yeah, fan header, yeah. Plug this in. Magic. And then we can move on to actually getting this up top. I haven't said it yet. I haven't said it yet.
No. 76% of people.
76% of people are going to be wrong. How do you feel about that?
Those 24% are going to be laughing.
They're going to be like, yes, we had faith. We know Marcus is number one. No, I'm sorry. You can't cut it out. I'm sorry. I mean, I forgot I hadn't actually screwed those in. So it's okay, that's me. That's not the radiator's fault. No.
It's funny that people still question whether this is live or premiered.
Premiered would have fancy music in the background. Oh, we said about doing that, didn't we? We failed. But maybe no music is a bit more real, you know. It's a bit more hardcore.
Nasty Yoda wants to know when the overhead camera is coming, Marcus.
Well, don't blame me. Blame the retailer because they fobbed me off. In stock, my bum. I ordered it, what, 2 weeks ago? Like before the day of the last stream or just before?
Yeah.
And it's not here yet, but apparently it's arriving very, very shortly. So when it does arrive, we can get it set up. Happy days. But I'm actually looking to move away from builds for the next couple of weeks. I'm sure there'll be one in there, because obviously they're important, but I really want to get down to the proper testing of like DDR4 versus DDR5, Windows 10 versus 11, all of that stuff. Because I think it's not only time for a change, but I think how can you choose your build without knowing these really key components? So.
Yeah. So the next build might be the 7900 XTX, that sort of time.
I think there's another the 4080 build. I want to do a 7700X 4080 build, I think, soon. What have we done so far? Because there's one unedited or edited but not live that people haven't seen yet.
4080 and a 7900X.
Right.
That's the one going out soon.
So yeah, that will be, and including this one, that would have been 4 4080 builds. I think that's enough.
Yeah.
Enough for now, anyway. When we get more knowledge, we can drop some more. There's nice rubber grommets, by the way, on this this cooler on the top, so you're not going to get any fan resonance or anything, which can be really annoying. The worst. It's all right. 2. The worst case I've ever used. Again, we're not going to mention the brand name because it's sponsored by Deepcool. I said I wasn't going to say that again, but whatever. The worst case I ever had, I put a radiator at the top, and the whole thing, I kid you not, was going just all the time. And nothing I could do would fix it, other than obviously buying some third-party rubber grommets or something. It was horrendous. And you think, do they test these things? I may have lost a screw.
Did it go on the floor?
Maybe. Have I lost a screw? Have I lost a screw? Where's it gone? Where is it? I don't know. I don't actually know where it is. I had loads, and then they vanished. Bang, and the dirt is gone. Bang. And I mean, it will, but we do need to find it at some point. It will turn up.
Inside the fan.
No, don't say that. I don't think it is. I think it's, like you say, it's just fallen somewhere. We'll press on. We'll do it for, as long as that spins. Yeah, we're good.
Under the case, perhaps?
That's
a nice comment.
No.
No. Sorry, Danny.
Yeah, Danny. What terrible suggestion. Why did you say that? Oh, no. We love you, Danny. Thank you so much.
The case? No, it could have been there.
Well, you say that. I mean, this is inside the case. There you go. Nice flexible hose. I actually really appreciate that. It's really weird things that you only notice when you build loads of different computers. Again, this is why I honestly love using Deepcool stuff, because you feel like they actually think about things rather than just like put it together because they want to have a cooler out. Does that look okay, or does it need to be more? This way looks better, doesn't it? Oh, this is trouble. I don't want to say it. 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 I don't want to say it.
You're so close.
I'm so close. I've got a screwdriver though that's too long for this job. No.
The radiator always wins.
It does. You think you can defeat the radiator, but actually the radiator will always defeat you. Except no. Or that's probably not advisable to leave that one screw in. But we like to live dangerously, don't we? Hey! That is not secure, but it's okay.
No, you need 2 screws, it's fine.
This is why you can't be trusted to install the radiators, huh? We don't let you near them because you come out with suggestions like that.
It's all about saving time.
Genuinely, I think so far we're clean. I don't think I'm going to say it. And that means this has passed the PC-centric all-in-one liquid cooler test.
Yeah.
Not interested in performance or anything, just whether I can install it without shouting. Basically, that is the acid test, which means there's only one more component left to go, which is quite exciting.
Yeah.
Carl.
That would be graphics card.
No, that was the give me some. Oh, I know. Yeah, whatever. Is Thea still about? She poking about?
Got a bit quiet.
Gone a bit quiet. That's classic her, actually.
She's just waiting for an opportunity.
I know. I just love that she's so many miles away.
Yeah, she's still here.
So many miles away, and I can still annoy her from here. It's brilliant. It's fantastic. And you know, and she's got no real way of annoying us either. So it's a win-win.
So 75% of people were wrong.
So far, though.
Well, it's done, isn't it?
No, like, do you remember? No, I was just about to spoil How I Met Your Mother. Sorry. Do you remember like the bet in How I Met Your Mother though about whether Ted will get rid of Robin?
Yeah.
And right at the end, what's his name? I forgot his name. Marshall. When he's lost the bet, he still says, "Not yet, not yet." He's biding his time. That's what those 75% people are doing. They're biding their time because, for all we know, we could run into an issue a little bit later down the line.
If it blocks the case from closing or something, or the graphics card, then they're going to look.
They're going to look. Yeah, we're going to look silly. Oh, here we go. Also, want to shout out, bookmark this, people, because it's live now. If you haven't already watched it, this isn't an ad, because they haven't paid me to say this, but I mean, I did a sponsored thing where I got paid to do with Intel a few weeks ago. We did like a version, I think for legal reasons, it's nothing related to the British Bake Off, but it's in a format that it isn't too dissimilar. And it's over on the Intel channel, and I'm in it. It's like a game show that I'm in. To go to the Intel UK, I think. Could be an Intel Global, but let's just say Intel UK channel. When, yeah, I was a contestant on that. That was really, really fun.
I watched that on Saturday morning.
What did you think of that?
Yeah, I thought it was quite good.
Came out all right.
I feel like you were robbed.
Well, yeah, let's not spoil it for people, but, you know, it could have gone better, couldn't it? I mean...
No giant trophy in the background.
There is no giant, no, but it was best of 3 rounds, wasn't it? So it's not like it was actually all my fault. I mean, I'm not a streamer, so set me up with some streaming challenges is, you know, against streamers. But then you could say that about the building challenge. Obviously, yeah. I was the best builder there. Come on.
No contest.
But then, yeah, decorating a cake, not really so much my forte. So much stuff got cut out of that, but it was very, very funny.
Yeah, you know, you said the cake thing, and you know, Thea's come straight in there.
Oh, she's back, is she?
The cake thing again. He can't decorate cakes.
Oh, whatever. Well, she can't decorate cakes either, because when we started dating, she used to make me a cake every week. Where have the cakes been, huh? It's been months. Been about 6 months. Also, I'd like to point out, I bought her for her birthday at the start of the year, like a free trip to the salon, because she's never been to a salon before, and she still hasn't taken me up on that. Can you imagine? Like, why? To get a lovely chance to get her hair done by the pros, never been in a salon, clearly not interested, so what can you say, huh? What can you say? I don't know, what can you say? Carl, fill me some time. You don't know?
I got distracted.
Oh.
I was just listening to cake stories.
That sounds a bit weird. Right, we're just doing the last of the cables now. We've got fan control for the fans, I guess. What have I missed?
He said he's so butthurt about it.
What, the cake?
I guess so.
No, genuinely, I'm not. Like, it wasn't my thing at all. I'm not remotely annoyed by it, actually. She's making stuff up. It's fake news. It's the sun. Oh, the salon? She's not, but rubbish. Unbelievable. I'm now hidden from view. This is brilliant coverage. Where am I? I'm there. This is fantastic. But it's just one fan to plug in, so I was just trying to do it quickly. As I say, top content. Yeah. Once you've shown one fan header, do you really need to show them all? They're all the same. RGB. The only thing I'll say is, I think...
You use the case RGB, aren't you?
Yeah, I would plug that in, but I don't think you can because this has got an addressable, whereas the Deep Cool uses... You can, with an adapter, you get it to work, but I'll just plug that into the motherboard, I think, for now.
Is there an adapter in the box?
I'll have a look in a second, but for now, let's plug this in.
We've got a nice comment here from Derek. My girlfriend and I love watching your PC build videos. You've got great energy with your videos. Keep up the great work.
Oh, and that's Derek.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Derek. I honestly really appreciate that. Sometimes gets a little bit in your head doing all of this stuff and you feel like you're working all of the time. It's nice just to sort of get back to what it's all about, which is just helping people to be less stressed about building a computer, basically. So yes, thank you for that. I really appreciate it and glad I can be of assistance to you and to everyone, really. The fans need to get plugged in or this cooler's not going to do anything. So let's feed these back through. Ugh. See, every time I turn this PC around, you then have to turn it back around so you could see again. It's a bit quasi. Oh, we're almost getting there. Oh, do these plug into the... Oh, no.
What have you done?
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, no. What did we say?
I ended the poll already.
Oh, no.
There's 76 people.
I have a feeling, I should have read the instructions, I think these fans might plug into the radiator itself.
Really? That's different.
Yeah, and if that is the case, I'll double check, but if that is the case, you know what that means. I'll take it out again. Which would mean I would have to utter the phrase. Because I don't know...
Go on, say it.
I don't know where else they would plug into, so I'm going to check the manual. Let's have a look. Connection with original fan. So you plug... What? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I have a feeling I might have ruined this. Oh no. I might have to say it. But I don't want to say it. Basically, the fans are very cool because they daisy chain together, which is a good feature if you know about it before you start doing the build. So the fans plug into each other. There's a little connection somewhere so that you can plug them in. So I'm going to have to take this apart. I mean, it's okay, but it's sad time. So go on, just for everybody at home, not this particular radiator, because actually this is a good feature because you have less mess. But for now, I hate radiators. That's not the same. People want the energy, don't they? I hate radiators, but I don't. I quite like them today. I've just, maybe I'm just in a good mood. Oh dear. We said, we did say people would have the last laugh,
right.
and the last laugh was had. So there we go. But as I say, I'm not mad because I like to see, innovation. Oh dear. What am I like? Oh, and I've plugged it in around the back now, haven't I? So.
Oh, look, this would be easier if it was an air cooler. Oh.
I know, it was all right.
They are short little cables, aren't they?
Yeah, so these plug... Oh no. 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 Oh no. I've got to take them all out again, I think. Or do I? No, it might be okay. So, I don't know if you can see. Cam 2, quick! Quick! Camera 2, this is an emergency. Camera 2, camera 2, camera 2. Ready? No, it's black screen. Camera 2, camera 2, camera 2. Focus. There we go. So, they plug in at the top here. You get a bit closer than that, boy. Boy. There we go. No, disaster. There we go. Look, you see? They daisy chain together. So this needs to plug in here. Is this going to reach? Oh, it just might. but you should have plugged them in differently, really. There's a bit missing from that side, maybe? Oh, I think I might have to take one off. That's a real shame. That is a real shame. Oh, blow. I'm going to take it off. I admit defeat. I admit defeat. I was wrong. I'm sorry. As I say, let the fans down. I've let the fans down. Was it worth it for the joke? Probably not, but let's go again. Hooray. Bummer. At least there's one screw missing, so it's quicker to take out.
I might have to make a move now.
You've got an emergency situation. I think Carl is going to have to leave us because from one dog cruelty to another, my one doesn't have any food and yours doesn't have any owner. Okay, because I said, oh, we'd be done at 8. Classic me, isn't it, that?
No, 9.
Okay, so F's in the chat, please, because Carl is going to have to take leave. How many hours do I owe you now?
100.
I'm not sure about that. Deducting several for lies now. Yeah, we have to work out and then just start later tomorrow.
Yeah, lots of F's in the chat. Oh, there's a lot of F's.
That is, yeah. Because you were the entertainment and now I'm going to have to entertain the people myself.
Do you want the laptop?
You can just leave it there, it's okay. I'm genuinely sad. Look. I mean, the good news... I suppose, yeah, I need to be able to see, don't I? I need to see the comments or I'll be talking to myself and be a bit one way, which is very, very sad. But the good news is we are actually almost done. We just had to put the GPU in. There you go. Look, there you go. Look, that's plugged in now. So I actually plugged the fan in maybe slightly wrong anyway the first time. So that is my fault. That's not Deepcool's fault. That's me. I like the innovation. Good to see. But should read instruction manual. So, yeah. Make me some room, boy. Here we go. Is that that's okay. It's slightly in the shot, but that's all right. We can work with that. Hi, guys. Laptop. I can see all the comments live now. F is for farewell. Mere Reef says, why do I get an electric buzzing sound from GPU when I flick through game menu? Clearly, he's very sad that you're going. What he's referring to, though, is coil whine, which is something that is actually very annoying. And it's caused by you having a very high FPS and your GPU be very high clocked when it's not really doing anything. I don't know why. Do you know why coil whine tends to exist more in menus than otherwise? Because even when it's running... Because where the fans turn off. I don't know. It's more obvious. My one downstairs does it, the water-cooled build, because it's more noticeable, because you don't get any noise from the GPU at all, and you're like, oh. But usually if you turn on VSync in the menus, that actually gets rid of that. It's a good little tip/trick. There we go. Right, he's stalling for time, but he's going to have to go. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody in the chat.
Let yourself out. Say goodbye to the dog.
Goodbye to the dog.
Yeah, sad times. A reminder, bye, Carl. He's gone now. That's it. I'm turning his mic off. It's official. Which one is it? We need to get like a door cam now for the front door so you can hear it slamming shut. He's like, why do I work for this person? I never finish on time. He's the worst. Sorry. I am the worst. It's true. I seem to have plugged this into somewhere it doesn't go in, which is quite annoying. Anyway. So yeah, it's just us now. Just us. Carl has to leave because, strangely enough, he is an employee. He's not actually he's paid. I mean, who would actually want to spend time with me in an unpaid manner? I mean, my girlfriend, clearly. So that sounds very freaky there to have the door open when I'm now in a house by myself. But there we go. Yep, he's gone. Sad, sad times. Oh, I still can't get this. Where is it? I'm trying so hard not to get annoyed, just with my level of incompetence, but there we go. Let's move on to this one now. It's basically a game of move the screw around. Harvey says, I'll be your girlfriend. I'm quite happy with the one I've got, actually, if I'm honest. I'm not one for internet relationships, you know, it's just not my thing. Marcus, you should make a video montage of you saying, I hate radiators. I think Carl kind of does that automatically anyway, if I'm honest. But again, it's just, the reason I say it is just because you always think you're done and then something happens, and it's just, for something that is very simple, which is just installing a CPU cooler, it always takes you ages. And it's just like, why? It shouldn't do. It really shouldn't do. Yeah, it always does. And it's a pain. Right, can we actually get this plugged in now? Because I really want this graphics card to go in, and I want people to see the 4080. I want this to light up. I look absolutely beautiful. But yeah, keep the comments coming. I am going to read them myself now. As I say, Carl is gone. Sad times. CPU coolers are not simple. Harvey as a home wreck. Yeah, Harvey, God. I mean, poor Thea. She's sitting in Chester, all sad. I don't know, she's probably quite happy. She's a very happy person. But she's sitting at home, having a great time. And then Harvey's coming in and he's like, you know what? He's mine. But actually, Thea might be quite happy with that because she doesn't need to look after me anymore. Because I'm like I say genuinely, I'm like a plant. I overheat. I need a lot of sunlight, or I get sad. I take, what is it, vitamin D tablets because I need my sun. And yeah, I can be underwatered, overwatered. Don't like soil. I do like soil, actually. I'm a plant. I do like soil. That's true. I don't know why this has got to this point, but there we go. That's enough rubbish from me. Radiator's in now. Happy days. We can scoot this round a bit. Comes with this little bracket here, so you can actually bracket. Comes with this like cable tidy, so you can get this looking nice and fabulous. There we go. That is the radiator in. Round the back, we now have this one daisy chain cable, I think. Imagine if I've done it wrong again, that'd be hilarious. I'm confused now. I'm confused because there's one place for the cable to go. One place. So you plug that into fan 1. Okay, so yes, the pump goes into fan 1. Then fan 1 goes into fan 2. And then fan 3 goes into... Oh, do I actually have to take it off again? Are you being serious now? You've actually been... I do. I know it's my fault. But I do. It's just... what? Air coolers are just so much easier. Always read the manuals, exactly. I want to join your Discord channel, but I don't know where to get the link. Is it not in the description down below? Check it out. Marcus from Owen, you make legendary videos, keep it up. Well, I mean, I'm not sure necessarily about the quality of them at the moment. I think we need to maybe work on some things, don't we? But there we go. Right, so this plugs into here, like so. And then the pump connects to the fan. I know that much. Because this is for like RGB and fan speed. So one final time, we're going to take this radiator off. And it's just the irony is, if you've just joined us, we did a little poll earlier where we said, will Marcus say the phrase, I hate radiators? And most people said yes. And when I got to install it, I was very happy. It was all in, hadn't had an issue at all. And I was very, very pleased that everything was right in the world and I hadn't had an issue. But because I hadn't read the manual at all, I didn't realize that there was this pretty nifty like cable management system where you can daisy chain all the fans together so you have less mess around the back. And the problem with that, when you don't know about it, is I didn't plug everything in the first instance, which was major sad times because I've now got to rectify my mistake. But it's okay, because we just get our little pump, we plug this into the fan itself. Oh, so pull this through. Have I lost it again? Oh, it's seeing me suffer entertaining for you. I bet it is, isn't it? Big entertainment. It's not planned, I just fumble along. Right, so where is our cable connection? Oh, I've got to, no, do I really have to take the whole thing off? Oh, really? Really? Because I've got to rearrange the fan. Oh, sad times. Now I don't have a hand to sort of block this so I can undo the connection as well. Oh, it's just, this is sad now. This is annoying now, I'm not gonna lie. Why did I do it wrong? It would be so much easier if I did it correctly. Oh, there we go. It's all right, magical. Right, so the problem is we don't have cold cam now, so it makes it more difficult. I've got another one of these daisy chains that I've got to plug into the fan, but the connection is not visible because of where I've screwed it in. So I now need to go back to the drawing board and rotate the fan, which is fantastic. Marcus, no. Marcus can afford this because he has stonks. No, Marcus can afford this because the parts were sent to him. As with all of the builds, I don't actually buy many parts. I do buy them sometimes, but most of the time they are sent out to me. So this Deepcool build, for instance, was sponsored by Deepcool, so they have sent all of these things out. Oh, and obviously they've sponsored the video as well, but then other components like ASUS sent the motherboard out, etc., CPUs, and then they just get reused. People always ask what happened to the components when I'm done, and the answer is usually that they are either sent back or they're reused in different builds. It's not actually an exact science. It's just the way it goes, really. I get to make the builds and people watch the videos, and because people watch the videos, they send me the stuff because they want their stuff to be seen. Simple as that, really. Didn't used to. Obviously, it took me quite a while when I got started to actually get sent parts, but I confess it's a lot easier now. I still don't always get everything. I mean, I'm hoping I get the AMD GPUs. Don't have one in yet. Haven't heard what's happening, so who knows? Maybe I won't get one. We'll see. We'll see. But you can bet your bottom dollar, as soon as I do get hold of one, we'll be doing a build with it. So get subscribed if you're not already. Right, radiator is ready to go. We have this cable that can plug in. So it's easy when you know what you're doing. But as I say, I did not look at the instructions and I regretted it deeply. So let's plug this in. Which way around? I think it's that way around, yes. Right, we're in. Happy days. We're actually, should be ready to go now, which is nice. So plug it all back in again. That pokes through the back, and there we can get it in. But yeah, it goes to be, you know, it remains to be said, seen, whatever the phrase is. Air coolers I prefer just because they tend to be a lot quicker and easier to install. All-in-ones look better, they transport better, but they can be a bit more tricky to actually get installed. It's not that they're difficult, it's just that it's quite easy to make very subtle mistakes that are quite time-consuming, like we've done here, because I didn't read the instructions, and then you have to take it out to fix your mistake. But hey, I don't know how long it's been. People that have been in the chat for a while, do let me know how long it's actually been trying to rectify this problem. The laptop's gone off now, which is brilliant. I think that's because it's not plugged in. There's a disaster area. Carl's gone rogue, he's unplugged it. But we're back now. We're back. So it's plugged in, and I can hopefully see the comments. At the moment, we've gone dark. We've gone dark. Yeah. Pin is incorrect. Brilliant. We're back. Hello. Right, we're back. We're back. If someone's spamming, then you're gonna. Who's spamming? I'm sorry. Who's spamming? I can stop it. Stop saying spammer. Who's the spammer? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, it's him. Can I be unbanned for the Discord server? I'm going to go with no. There you go. We're sorted. We're sorted. We're good. We're good. I'll tell you a very funny story. I actually received an email from someone. I don't know who it was, but it's basically someone from the Discord server that got banned, pretending to be their dad, emailed me and said, can my son be unbanned? He's very sorry. And I confess I did find it quite amusing. Was I tempted to unban? a little bit, but I'm pretty sure it's a relatively short ban. You know, if you're going to cause a ruckus, then people are going to ban you. So I don't know who the mod was or what the problem was, but I'm not the law. I am just an observer. I'm sorry. Hey from Lebanon. Hello. I love Lebanese food. One of my favorites. There's a place near me. It's awesome. So, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Starring PC Centric was me. And you were having Carl, but he left because the dog was at home by himself and the dog gets dressed. Ah, are we finally done now? Right, I think that's it. We'll plug this in. Magical. There we go, look. There we go. That is all sorted. Now we can move on to the GPU. This could have happened ages ago. It's really sad it's raining outside as well. Big sads. Oh, that's really heavy rain as well. Big sads. Hi, I need a low budget PC. Can you send me a free PC? What do you think? I mean, I get the whole like no harm in asking thing, but I mean, do you really expect to receive a reply? Next, what is best PC for Valorant? You don't really need anything particularly advanced for Valorant, to be honest. Just any GPU that's relatively modern will run it fine, especially if you're playing at 1080p. There's our 16-pin adapter, PCIe Gen 5, ATX3. Why are there so many different names? That's all sorted. We can now move it around to the side and we can get ready for our graphics card. So it's a 3-slot card. Sorry, it's a 3-slot card. Here it is. There's the RTX 4080. Here's the RTX 4090. Can you tell the difference? They basically look the same. They just have slightly different text. I think there is a slightly different font color, but not much in it. Size comparison, look, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But there's that. So we just need to undo the 3 slots. What type of PC do you need for COD? One that's quite up to date, I suppose, but it depends on the resolution. Check out benchmarks. I always do Warzone benchmarks in my videos. Ah, that one's blocking it slightly. How else are we doing? Would a 13700K pair fine with a 3090? A 3090, definitely. I think the i5 and the i9s, the i5 and the i7s are the ones to get. I actually did a little test on my PC that I use, which is quite old now. It's a 10980XE, and that is a single core Cinebench score of only like 1000 and something, and an i5 is like 2000. Which goes to show just how much better these new CPUs are, even versus something that was ridiculously high-end. Oh, so we'll pop this in. There it is. Oh, hello. Pop this in. Yeah, RTX 4080 in the slot. Whack it in. Happy days. There we go. Put all the screws in, and that is pretty much our build ready to go. Do you see now why I put this fan down the bottom? Because you're going to get a little bit more airflow and it's going to go straight to the GPU, which should help our situation out a bit. We now just need to make sure we can power this with the cable. And it's always a bit of a struggle. I guess it is a bit of a struggle, trying to work out exactly where to put the cable and still have it look good. Is that going to be the right way to go? Potentially. Yeah, probably. Doesn't look great, does it? But that's the adapter for you. Not much I can do about that, I'm afraid. There you go. That's in. Probably tidy that up so it's in the right order. But there you go. That is our rig, I believe. Complete. Does it look okay? I think if you swap out the cable for something else, it will look better. Obviously, adapter's never going to look great. If you get a native one, it will be better. But that is it. That is it. What do you guys think? I need to go full screen so I can see myself. Yeah, it doesn't actually look too bad. Again, if you're just joining the stream, sponsored by Deepcool, this is their CG510 case, and it does come in a mesh version. If you don't like having solid front panels, you have ventilation on the side here and here. But I personally would go for the mesh version that also has this really cool little like temperature readout on the front. It's pretty nifty. Go check it out, actually. I'm hoping to get that in soon and we'll do a full build in that. But this is obviously very minimal. It's sort of taking inspiration, I think it's fair to say, from a different case. But look, it's pretty clean, pretty nice. I think when we turn this on, it's going to look good. Looks so dang good, says Joshua. Magnus, look. You called some dude's dog ugly. Final timeout. Don't ask again. I'm doing a stream. Bad. Hi, PC Centric, says William. Baby Groot. He's back. I know, but he's gone. Someone asked earlier, can you do a Razer build in the future? I have done one a while ago, actually. I don't really understand their cases because they seem to be ridiculously expensive and no real reason for it. So I don't know. Maybe they'll bring out something else. But the last one I used, I wasn't very impressed with, if I'm honest. Right, that's that. Around the back, obviously we need to do some cable management, but this is a live stream. Wait, what? I'm so confused. What's going on? Oh, my stream stopped playing my end, and I was like, what the hell? What the hell? We all good? Yeah. That really freaked me out. That really freaked me out. It had a black screen. I was like, oh, what's going on? The adapter isn't great, but the Founders Edition cards do look nice and minimal. Great build. They do. But this is around the back. If you were doing this for real, easy enough to tidy up. You just need to make sure that all of these cables get sort of managed, I suppose. So you'd use some cable ties and wrap them up probably like that. So you'd have sections. This would go down there. These fan adapters and things you would just actually stick on to the case, but I don't do that because I reuse these things, so it doesn't really make any sense. I'm just trying to think though, was there anything else? I think that's it. I think everything's plugged in. So let's plug this in and see if we do actually get some form of readout. And the way I'm going to do this is to nick an HDMI cable off something, which is always easier said than done. Oh, I'm going to go for camera. This is bad. I'm going to go for, oh no, there's one here. There's one. There's a spare. Crisis over. It's okay. I'm still here, I promise. Because we can plug this into our little streaming deck thing. Oh, the Atom. Yeah. Graceful as always. Plug this into this, and then hopefully it will come up when we plug it all in. If I press this button, that's that. So picture in pictures. Yeah, okay, it might work. Right, let's give this a go. Let's give this a go. Are we going to get an output? So everything is on. Power button should be connected. Yes, I know we have a mess. I will deal with that. Sorry, apologies. But yeah, let us do it. Power button. There we go. It lights up. That cooler looks good. That cooler looks good. Look at that. I do like silver motherboards as well. I think they do work. They look pretty nifty. The only thing I'd like to do is have these fans match the rest. And I'm sure there's a way to do that. You just need to use adapter. You might even get one in the box, but I haven't checked. But the question is now, are we going to get an output? So if I swap to this, which is black, there's me in the top right-hand corner of the screen, very small. We're going to wait and see if we actually get an output though. There we go! Look at that! That actually worked really well. That was fantastic timing. There we go. We have an output. Doesn't that work well? I honestly love this kit. This kit is very, very cool. That's awesome. And I can actually get camera 1 up there as well, so I can see it, which is pretty cool. Yeah, how about that? Are we on camera 1, aren't we? So that's the stream. There's me. Sorry, I'm trying to work everything out as we go. There we go. I need a keyboard and a mouse though. So if we go to that one, that's correct. Then I'll press 1 so I can see that. Happy days. Keyboard and mouse. Where have they gone? Carl touched them. He moved them. No, he didn't. That's just me. I don't actually know where the adapters are for it though, which is problematic. It's problematic. It's hydromatic. It's my new computer. Where have I put it? Maybe it's this one. Maybe it's this one. Maybe it's Maybelline. It's not in the back of this one. This is what editing usually does. It means that I can sort of see everything. Thank you so much for the donation, Ren. $99. 99 cent. Recording the BIOS, are we? Yeah. Remember what I said? Look, we go to the output. We press 1. Look, bang. How about that? Everything has been detected. 7600X. And I think I've got Windows installed on there, so I'm hoping we can just cut straight to the chase, which would be good. We go back to that one. I've just got to find my keyboard adapter. It's not that one. So I found them. I got them. I got them. Here they are. So I plug into our computer. There we go. We go back to number 1, and we get me over there. And in theory, I can turn this keyboard on. That would help. Press 1 to go into the setup. Turn on the mouse, and here we go. So the fans at the moment are on max, so we need to make sure those are set to be silent. There's no excuse for silent, for noisy fans. Apply to all. There we go. What's the one that's making the noise? CPU fan. PWM mode. Go with that one. Try that. What's the one making the noise? I think it is that one. Just needs a tune anyway. Sometimes you have to go and do it manually. Yeah, I bet this is really interesting content, but usually it's just about sort of finding the max speed of the fan. Because there, look, that's not actually changed anything, so it just needs a tune. Can we put this down just for now? Just want to know, you know. What's the one making the noise? CPU fan. Maybe I've set this to the wrong mode then. Is it DC? DC mode. Let's try that. I might have to work this out later. Because if you go into the software, you can set a lower RPM. CPU optional fan is now making a load of noise. Again, this is top content, isn't it? This is what it's actually like every build, so you don't see this. I sort of have to work out all the fan speed and get it as quiet as possible. But it's nice to have this one down the bottom as well, I have to say. It's pretty nifty. But let's see if we can boot into Windows anyway. We'll sort that out later. I will turn on DOCP. AAO pump. People saying AAO pump. Potentially. But quite often you can't change that, which is kind of annoying because the pump is a dedicated header. It's meant to be running at full speed all of the time, pretty much. That one. See, this is why I need you here, because otherwise it doesn't work. So what I might have done is just I've probably plugged the pump into CPU fan, I reckon. Yeah, there you go. I've plugged the pump in. So if I've set that to full speed, is that the one? Maybe? Silent? I'll set that to silent. There you go. Yeah, perfect. Nice and quiet now. There we go. AAO pump. Move that down a bit. There we go. Fantastic. Fantastic. I love that. Fantastic cooling. Always funny. There we go. We've done it. Magical. Listen to that. Or don't listen to that because you can't hear it. Thank you, everyone in the comments. You helped me out there. I was being a silly sausage, wasn't I? I'll probably set this over there because Ryzen sort of runs quite hot. Let's go with that. Cool. So this is the noise levels, or this is the noise levels. These are the noise levels. There we go. So quick tune, much better. I think it's a good looking rig though, isn't it? Good looking rig. Again, I personally would go for the mesh version, but you get the choice. So I like that you get a choice. It's nice. Picture in picture on. We're back. The only other thing I would say is make sure that resize bar is on, which it is by default, which is nice. Everything else you can change. AI tweaker, we've got DOCP on. This is a 5200 megahertz kit, so I'm hoping this is going to work out the box. If it does, our PC should spring back into life. Fan speeds tends to go back to max when it's doing like some BIOS mode. It's currently doing the memory trying out thing that it does on these new Ryzen chips. So essentially it's just making sure the timings are correct and then it will boot in. And I guess the advantage is if it finds problems now, it will tell you about them rather than in Windows when you're playing a game, it keeps crashing, you can't work out why, when it was actually the memory all along. Gives us a chance to actually do some comments though, while I'm waiting to see if this comes back. No pomegranates. Well done, Marcus, says Owen. Thank you very much. Well done you for hanging about, staying along. Oh, it isn't going to work, is it? I should have just left the memory as it was. We'll give it a bit more time. Otherwise, BIOS update is probably required and then it'll probably fit. We've got a super chat. Who's this from? More excited about DisplayPort 2.0 from JP. Was that from earlier? I think that was. See, Carl sorted that for me. Good lad. Hello from Russia. Hello. Is CSM disabled? I haven't checked. Your Discord link is not in the description. It should be on pretty much any other video then. I thought it wasn't there. Not a fan of noise. No, but as I say, since it was tuned, it was fine. But as you can see, this is now looking like the, there's no signal, look, bang. That's what's currently being output. This is what happens if the memory hasn't taken, essentially. But it doesn't look like there's actually any lights to tell you this whatsoever on the board. This is a bit of a bad thing from this Prime. That's really quite annoying. So it looks like we're going to have to reset the CMOS, which is easy enough to do. On a high-end board, you do at least get a little button on the back, but there isn't one here. So there's usually a header to jump on the PC. I'm pretty calm. Oh, hang on a minute. It's slowed down. Whoa, we're back. I reckon it's going to say it failed, though. What's going on? What's going on? You're getting live output here. I think it's just reverted. I think it's like, no, we don't like those settings. It's loading into Windows. That's new. Come on. I like this picture-in-picture, though. It's cool, though, isn't it? Well, apparently it's 4:35 in the morning, which I can assure you it's not. Let me just put this black, sorry, just for 1 second, so you can't see my pin. There we go, we're back. We're back, and we're in. And the question is now very much going to be, with my 30 FPS screen, because it's going through this streaming thing, did our memory take? No, didn't think it would. BIOS update. Manual timings, I think just a BIOS update would fix it, but manual timings would as well. We've found everything else though. As I say, our 6-core 7600X, but I imagine we don't have a driver yet, which is a bit annoying. So, what shall we do? Let's cut to me. There's me. Hello, how are we doing? Like that, and then I will do that, and I will entertain you for a second while I just sort of try and get these drivers sorted. Oh, there's no internet because this board doesn't have Wi-Fi. Ah, that's a problem. Because I do have a cable, but the cable is plugged into this, which obviously means that we're not going to get to see all of the performance of this unless I could get a driver on this over USB. Let's do that. Let's do that. If I can find a USB drive, because it would seem a shame to not actually see this in action, wouldn't it? It would seem a shame. Wi-Fi adapter. Yeah, I know, but we shouldn't need internet. It should be fine because I can just quickly grab the driver from NVIDIA's website. NVIDIA 4080 driver. Something I don't like as well, if you use Microsoft Edge, it has ads at the top, and they're always like dodgy drivers that are nothing to do with NVIDIA, and it's really misleading, and quite how they get away with it is really quite annoying. NVIDIA driver. There we go, download, GeForce 4080, yes please. Download that. Fortunately I got fast internet, so not an issue there. Oh, what do you guys make of the build though? Do you like it now it's quiet? Do you like the whole minimal look? What do you think? Is that good? I know I need to put the side panel on, but that looks better from that angle. There you go. It's quite nice and clean, isn't it? There it is from the side. And I think the airflow actually for what is obviously a solid front panel case, I think it should be okay with that fan down the bottom. But we shall see. We shall see. Okay, so we have our driver. We have, hopefully, our USB stick soon. I'm doing this as quick as I can, guys. I'm trying my best. I'm trying so hard. Right, now we can go back to this. I can put me back on. There I am. Hello. That's our Windows drive, but if we go over to BIOS, look. Here we have our NVIDIA driver. Magical. How are we doing in the comments, by the way? How are we doing? Looks like a clean build with those power adapters. I know. It's not my fault, though. Nothing I can do about that because they put it on all of them. Darren says, hi, we met a few weeks ago in Nottingham. Loving this. Hope you are well. Big numbers for a live. How are we doing in terms of numbers? Yeah, about 440 viewers. Yeah, awesome. I mean, it's just so great to be able to do it and to actually be able to chat to you guys. Why are there so many spammers? Who's spamming? Who's spamming now? Safety Trousers. Edge is better. I mean, Safety Trousers. I do love your name. That's quite amusing, I must admit. Right, so install those bad boys, get those on. Swap back to me, full screen me. New to PC Gaming says, favourite bot. That why I wanted to join your Discord so you can ask more questions. Well, it is there, I promise. Just any other video. It should be in the description. I know it's in the description. Is it worth updating the BIOS? If you wanted to get the memory to run at the full speed, I think that would work, yeah. You may as well do it as soon as you build your PC. I would do it straight away, but the general rule is, unless there's a reason to update your BIOS, you tend to leave it. What's my favourite GPU? I still like the 3060 Ti. I think that was the best balance. Cindy says, can we have a tour of the studio? There's loads of tour videos already on the channel. Just type in PC Centric setup. They will come up. That's what you want to see. It's this one, isn't it? Bang, back on. Oh, we're still going. Just done now. Right. The question is, do I have any offline games though? Do I have any offline games? Well, let's soon find out. Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk should actually work locally, but it is a slightly older version, so you're just going to have to bear with me on that one. We give it a go. We give it a go. Because we've got GOG. Recent. And then we should have frame view. There it is. There's an old version of frame view as well. Sorry. Hit play and that should just work. Cloud sync failed. Unsurprising. No Wi-Fi adapter lying around. No, normally I just use a PCIe one. And obviously that's not a quick thing to put in. Anyway, it's fine. It's fine. We got this. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Why is the bitrate dropping a bit? Bitrate is low, apparently. Well, what was this last used on ultra wide? I think that resolution's a bit whack. So we go to settings, graphics, video, set this to a proper resolution. I think we're going to be limited to 1080p, which is a bit annoying, so it doesn't actually, it's not going to tell you much. But I suppose it will tell you 1080p. We'll see how bottlenecked we are. There's that. Anyway, quick preset. We'll put this absolute max settings. Stream Deck, that's the one. No, absolute max settings. We won't have DLSS 3.0 either because this is an older version and mine was pre-release anyway. So DLSS, let's set this to off. So we see proper 1080p resolution, everything else max, ray tracing psycho, and we hit continue. We hit continue. Your monitor may be set to 1080p. It's because the monitor's not a monitor, it's a Streamy Deck thing. It's an Atom Mini Pro, so it's limited to 1080p. So that's why you're seeing 1080p as the res. Have you played the new God of War? Not yet, but do want to. Do want to. Come on. Are we loaded in? I think we probably are, actually. There we go. So there's me. It feels awful because it's 30 FPS. But again, that's just the limitation of this. That's not the PC. That's not a problem. It's purely just a thing that I'll see and you won't. Where's our frame rate? Is it not showing up? Oh. I mean, it feels good. I mean, it doesn't. But I mean, you can tell the frame rate is very high. It's just capped at 30. So no, I'm lying. It doesn't feel good. For 30 FPS, it feels good. But where's our frame rate? Is it really not going to work? Is this just not work on this card? Don't forget it's an older version of FrameView as well. So if it does not work, it's not a problem. We can go to video. We can go to borderless. Does that make any difference? No. So what we'll do instead is we'll run the benchmark so you can see. And then we will obviously wrap up the stream. Run the benchmark. Yeah, I will. But I thought running the benchmark would be boring. I thought people won't want to watch the benchmark, but there we go. So this is 1080p, absolute max settings, no DLSS, no cheating. I wouldn't advise a 4080 for this, but it should at least show us what the best case scenario is for this without any form of smart DLSS. Around about 80 FPS or so, which doesn't sound that impressive, but I mean, I think the reason for this is purely just because DLSS does so much on this game. It really, really does. Yeah, about 75. Maybe this version isn't optimized either for this GPU. I don't know. I mean, I admit, that's low. I want to see more than that. But there we go. Oh, Geekawat's here, but he's late. Funny. Well, there you go. Anyway, that is 1080p performance. That is what 1,300 quid may or may not be able to get you, depending on, with no internet, how optimized this system is. So, I don't know. I want to see it with DLSS next. We'll turn DLSS on and see if that makes any difference. But I think this is low. I think something's a bit wrong. You should be getting more than this. Because the 4080 should be getting around about, with DLSS, I think that's 60 FPS or so, maybe, yeah, ish at 4K DLSS. So, yeah. Don't know, maybe we're seeing some CPU bottlenecking or something, I'm not sure. I don't know, this isn't very helpful, is it? I've actually opened up a can of worms and I don't think I can close them. But yeah, as I say, turn DLSS on and then we'll go again. But otherwise that pretty much will wrap up this stream. I really hope it's been useful. Really, really do. I've enjoyed doing it. It's a shame Carl wasn't here until the end, but he did have to leave. I think he's with us in the chat, or at least with us in spirit. He's still alive, at least I hope. He's got work to do. Not, you know, don't actually care about his well-being. I do. I like to think I look after him. We've got drinks in the evening tomorrow. Ooh, how about that? Right, let's try again with DLSS, see if it makes any difference. Good steam, says Carl. I mean, this is GOG. Soz, mate. Soz, mate. While it's loading, here's another look at this, look, while it's loading. Ta-da! A lovely RGB. Back to camera 1. On. Boom. That's about the same, isn't it? Am I going mad? I think that's the same. So we're getting some sort of issue. Could be that there's no internet and it's an old version of the game, or it could be that we're seeing a CPU bottleneck because the ray tracing is very intense. I don't think it's that one. I think it's the first one. Take all these numbers, as I say, with a pinch of salt. I just wanted to show it actually working, but in terms of noise levels, I mean, I know the front panels, the side panel's not on. Put this on, we do a peel, look, that can be the last thing we do the peel. Magical. There we go, you ready for this? Y'all ready for this? That one. This one. Ta-da! And there we go. We have our system pretty much sorted. As I say, just change the adapter cable, and that is our budget-friendly RTX 4080 build complete. I'm happy with that. I'm very happy with that. But we would love to hear your thoughts on this. And don't forget, because we plugged the reset button into the fans, we can actually change the RGB, look, just by pressing a button. There we go, look. We can cycle through with the reset button now. That's such a cool little feature. And honestly, I think that's way more interesting and convenient than having to use software. You hold it down, it turns them off, look. Shows you the difference. They're on now, and you can cycle through all the different RGB. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That's pretty slick. That is pretty slick. What if you don't want red, though? You can do it again. Is there like a blue? I like a blue or a purple. NVIDIA green. There you go. That's how I'd have it. Boom. But yeah, there it is. Thank you so much for tuning into the stream. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you to everyone that has been in the chat, commented. Invalid Gamer, Dan1, AV, James, Monkeys Rock, Lime, Dino, James again, Anarchy, Mere Reef, Safety Trousers, best name in the chat. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Links to this are down below, and if you haven't already, watch yesterday's RTX 4080 video. That actually has full performance numbers of this working properly at 4K. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.